do want you to speak, Ayanla, to how women need to, position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build, when some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns it. If he owns the bus.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
Now let's address.
Ma'am, book a session.
See, these dudes kill me. That's what's wrong with this generation today. These young boys today, what do she bring to the table? The hell you mean, man? What do your ass bring to the table? You got a woman that can come to the table that can make another you. What else she need to slide up to the table with? What about your job? What happened to men who were supposed to be responsible? Do you know that it's our job to take care of a woman and some children, to have a family? That's our damn job.
You know what to do. Hit the subscribe button and become an official member of Club Shay Shay, where we do something for two something. Right here.
Thank you, Steve Harvey. Not really.
Steve Harvey was on that interview, dog, and they've been showing it a little bit.
I told you it was good. I liked it.
That was weak as a motherfucker.
I like that interview.
How is this motherfucker allowed to give
man.
advice?
Man.
This is a goofy. He married a that hustle money.
Bruh.
Everybody know it. You first of all, you've been married how many times? Three times.
Before there was the manosphere, I was. Before there was the internet, I was. I was that Sigma male crying out in the wilderness for justice and equality for those that are downtrodden and broken, those that are voiceless. I was the kosher clinician before I was the kosher clinician on the internet. My plight and my war cry for justice and humanity is nothing fake, but I've always been kosher. And sit back and get this kosher fought. Hello everyone. Is there equality in America, fact or fantasy? First of all, I would like to salute all fellow human beings and most graciously those who are beacons of light for justice and righteousness. To vocally explain the tenets of equality, fact or fantasy, I must begin with the combination of two alphabets, I and F, which spells There's no respect of person, but gives protection to all them that fear him. So therefore I ask you this profound and non-scholastic question. If there was equality in America, will I be standing here today? You decide, fact or fantasy.
This is Kosher Condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Condition.
I got a itch in my palm. My girl, she know she the one. I put the ice on her hand. I put some ice on her arm. See me shining in the light. Know you found me in the dark. Talking how you wanna leave. Girl, you made this far. Taking trips overseas. No, I won't be long. We came up from the weeds. Now it's top floor. All these big gets on her wrist. VVS is on her neck. Make it spin and I don't stress. When I make it stretch. Double back to back then. Down broke, now we rich. Spend it on her, let it spin. Down with me to the end. That my best friend. That my best friend. That my best friend. I'ma spend it on her, cause she all mine. Spend it on a challenge, cause she all mine. There for my first cake, then we hit on a cake. $500,000 on the way, then $1,000,000 on the way. Eating good, full plates, eating good, say grace. Eat her up, get thanks. She got cake birthday. I can't waste no way, I can't waste no play. My girl, whoa, whoa, sounding like the baddest chick. My girl, whoa, whoa, came from the rags to rich. Hit the road running, I had to tell her I had to get it. She understood, but she spoiled, so when she get mad, she dip. All these big gets on her wrist, VVS's on her neck. Make it spin and don't stress. When I make it stretch. Double back to back then. Down broke, now we rich. Spend it on a let it spin. Down with me to the end. That my best friend. That my best friend. That my best friend. I'ma spend it on her, cause she all mine. Spend it on a challenge, cause she all mine. All these big gets on her wrist, VVS is on her neck. Make it spin and don't stress. When I make it stretch. Double back to back then. Down road, now we rich. Spend it on a let it spin. Down with me to the end. That my best friend. That my best friend. That my best friend. I'ma spend it on her, cause she all mine. All these big gets on her wrist, VVS is on her neck. Make it spin and don't stress. Spend it on a challenge, cause she all mine. That my best friend. That my best friend. That my best friend.
Shoe shine used to cost a dime. A nickel could get you plenty. There was a time in the past when love was not necessarily predicated solely on having high status jobs. Many black men of the past supported their women at a very high rate by deferring their needs by sending their women to college. But in recent times, Cynthia G and so many, along with Ebony Williams, have began to deride and mock black men along with their cohort, Themis and Thought, as they more or less assert or assume to place judgment on black men and what black men are worth. It could be argued that if many model women were a modicum of what women were in the past, meaning they were virgins, they didn't have kids by multiple men, and they had domestic skills to more or less help that man become the better version of themselves or himself, then it could be said that perhaps she would be more or less a recipient of having all her bills paid and getting the things that she so desired. But in modern times, so many have become so entitled and selfish that an average worker or blue-collar man is not enough. Is this consistent with Black love or consistent with what our ancestors stood for in the past? Sit back, relax, and enjoy this show as I bring it to you live from the greatest state in the Union, the Tar Heel State. I need you guys to understand these are ages of masculinity and try to more or less minimize the effect. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, it ain't right. There are 7 steps that a man must go through in order to become optimized, and understanding how your masculinity is impacted by a selfish and entitled woman is paramount if you're going to get resolved in a time when masculinity appears to be eroded. Be well.
Fire for your mind. Kosher clinician.
If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dope them. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues. Absent fathers who miss you. Mama drama don't kiss you. All a part of the ritual. This is how they get you. Separate the men, women, clipping babies pretend to. Damn. Lovers, haters, acting like vultures. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen. Listen.
Remember those days, those L's, I couldn't sleep right now. I get paid, vacay, I'm staying B-side. Breaking the blues over steak, I gotta eat right. You could be my peace sign. I don't need bad energy around me. I just need sun, you're so cloudy. I wake up good, you're so grouchy. Please get from around me. When the truth don't work, you start telling lies. Thought you were down to ride, you weren't down to ride. Caught switching, you were picking sides. Don't blink, caught slipping like a slip and slide. I was shooting dice till I got a nosebleed. Money on the floor, can't get cold feet. Took an L, should've put it in the offering. Lord, forgive me for my sins, don't know of me. Scary thoughts, I got scary thoughts. Lost control, now I'm taking.
All right, guys, can you hear me? That's it. You guys can hear me now. All right. So we're about to get into it, guys. This is a finishing part from the show we did in the past. And we're going to talk about the pink elephant in the room. Some of you would think that this whole conversation with Cynthia G and Ebony Williams is predicated on them thinking black men are inferior. But I think it's deeper than that. We're going to talk about the clinical concept called reaction formation, and we're going to talk about the big elephant in the room. Shout out to Obsidian Amir Ali. He did a show called Sleeping White While Talking Black, and we're going to talk about the nuances of this from a psychological perspective. Get your pens and paper ready, guys. I'm going to drop some fire for your mind on tonight as we talk about Themis and Thought and his more or less rhetoric against male agency. Let's do it. All right, guys, we're about to get it in, man. So thank you guys for tuning in on tonight. And we're going to have a comprehensive conversation about black male agency. Shout out to Dr. Ron Neal. Dr. Ron Neal came up with a concept called black male agency. But what is the true pink elephant in the room, guys? What is the true pink elephant in the room? And we're going to get deep into it on tonight. We're going to get deep into it on tonight, I promise you. And before we go down the rabbit hole, guys, thank you for tuning in to the 16. I need a few of you guys to share the content and share the stream. And we're going to have a good conversation concerning the pink elephant in the room. All right, so there's been a lot of conversation, guys. There's been a lot of conversation about, can't even think of the lady's name, Cynthia Williams, Cynthia G, Ebony Williams, and a list of others when it comes down to what men deserve and desire. And I did a show in the past called Devilish, and Devilish more or less was talking about the injustices and the lack of respect for blue collar men. It was all centered around the bus situation. But you know and I know that a lot of the things that some of these women are complaining about, they don't actually deserve it themselves. Black blue-collar men are the pillars to the society. And many call it, or more or less consider it, offensive because some of these women, some, don't understand the thinking errors that they have. So I'm going to show you guys a concept called reaction formation. And we're going to talk about reaction formation and what it looks like in the clinical world. So hold tight. Put the screen down. Hold tight. So reaction formation is an ego defense mechanism. It's the tendency of a repressed wish or feeling to be expressed at a conscious level in a contrasting form. Basically, reaction formation is actually going against what somebody else is truly thinking. It could be argued that a percentage of our women that actually talk as if they have a disdain for black men actually have a desire. And many will argue that the BBC is part of that. But also, when they more or less talk about more or less their projection and their love for white men, could also be reaction formation because they secretly really desire black men, but they have disdain because they feel like black men are not living up to their expectations. But this whole thing behind Ebony Williams and Ayala Van Zant and Cynthia G's denigration of black men is consistent with why black men are getting passports and they are traveling abroad. They're traveling abroad because they want women that are consistent with respecting them and honoring them, the average blue-collar brother. And this conversation, guys, become more important because there's a percentage of men that are looking for quality women. But I'm going to get deep into it. There was a clip, shout out to my man, A Peaceful Life. And Peaceful Life talked about this woman that was more or less talking about what women deserve, and then more or less parrots the talking point on tonight. But once again, reaction formation is the fixation in consciousness of an idea, affect, or desire that is opposite to the unconscious impulse. And one will argue, is there an unconscious impulse concerning, at one point they say their hatred, but really their desire when it comes down to the efficacy of black men. So we're going to pull up some of the clips, guys. But guys, do me a favor in the meantime, donate to the channel because I'm about to drop some fire for your mind on tonight. donate to the channel, get the likes up. If you want to donate through Cash App. And I want to show you guys the pathology behind some modern women and how you should move in responses to so many denigration against the typical black man. But shout out to, once again, the Ingram Experience. This was on his show earlier today, and I'm going to pull up this clip, and I'm going to show you guys and give you guys some context, so hold tight.
This is Makivia, black.
Now, this was a woman that I saw earlier on his show, and this woman, guys, is talking about what black men don't deserve, and this more or less parrots to Themis and Thought, the guy Themis, which appears to be a male feminist. And we're going to get deep into it, so hold tight.
Women, I know you're tired of hearing about the Ayanna and Ebony discussion, and so am I. But you know what I was listening to the other day? There was a black man complaining about the reason why so many people in the black community was affected or hurt by the comment that Ebony said was because it hurt black men's feelings. And I don't even understand why black women care. The truth of the matter is, the majority of the men in our community do not care about the feelings of black women or girls for that matter.
Guys, that is a misnomer, because I think black men do care about the feelings of black women and black women. Because if that was not the case, why do so many say, oh, my mama, and your mama is black? So that doesn't make any sense, because black men have been conditioned to say, when it comes down to our women, on my mama. But see, this kind of woman is a type of woman that don't understand SMV, and she doesn't understand that she does not more or less get to dictate to what men want.
We are not valued. We are not appreciated. We are the mules. So I do not understand why a woman that is a millionaire should be expected to date down. She should not. That is the problem in the black community. Black women do not have standards. Black women do not have boundaries. You need standards and boundaries. If you are making a lot of money, you should have a man that equally makes the same amount of money or more than you. That is just common. But some type of way in the black community, black women are told that you should date down. No, you shouldn't. And no, it's not.
The question is, what is dating down? One could argue that a black man of substance is dating down. What does dating down mean in your opinion, in her opinion?
Just about money. Yes, it matters a person's personality, if they have integrity, if they're respectable, dependable, if they're patient. Yes, all those things matter too. But why should black women have to always struggle or date down?
Well, what this woman don't understand is that if a black man marry a single mama or a baby mama, that's dating down for him. Look at how many black men have dated down and married women with kids or women with what some would call high bodies. But see, women like her don't understand how men or what men want when it comes down to a woman. Women of old understood that having kids out of wedlock, not being chaste, and not having domestic skills, if a man decided to get with her, that man was dating down. So this woman is not making sense. Guys, do me a favor, share this stream on tonight. Donate to the channel, preferably do Cash App $7 Smalls. And we're going to get deeper into it. But she don't understand the prospects of dating down, because the top tier man is actually dating down. He's dating down if he decides to settle for a woman of her ilk. But she said dating down. And that's the lack of self-awareness that so many have when it comes down to understanding black men in general. Do me a favor, guys, get the likes up and donate to the channel. We're going to get deeper into it. Hold tight.
Y'all need to stop paying attention to these men. Look at history. History have shown you one thing. No one cares about what the black woman feels and what our needs are.
And always through the narrative of victimhood. It's always through the narrative of victimhood. It's always from the narrative of victimhood. The lack of self-awareness, the lack of reflection, and not understanding that the typical black man is not or does not care about how much money you make, unless that man was raised in wealth and influence. But that black man got his money from the mud. That man's more concerned about how you conduct yourself as a lady. Classism is not always the case for some of these men. Classism is not always the case. And here's why men should move forward, especially when it comes down to dating a particular type of women. It's very onerous to say that black women gotta always date down if black men are expected to marry women with kids by other men. That's dating down for that man. If you get with a woman that got high bodies, that's dating down. But see, women like her don't understand SMV and how it plays a role in the evolution of a man.
So you should do the same. Bye.
All right. So this woman is typical of so many modern women. She's very typical of so many modern women. And because of that, this woman's going to keep a lot of women single. She's going to keep a lot of women single because she don't understand the conversation. But this was the guy, Themis and Thoth. And his disdain, because this man is a male feminist, Ebony Williams, Cynthia G, which is a known hater of black men, and her lack of respect of black men, and always looking at black men through the negative lens and the negative light, which is overgeneralization. Guys, do me a favor and get the likes up. Donate to the channel when you can. And let's get deeper into it.
Nobody should be shaming anybody who wants a provider. What black women want is for us to have a community where it's okay and acceptable for black men to operate outside of manhood. And largely that's been how it is. It doesn't work. You can look at the community and see how many problems it's causing, but yet they still keep pushing for this. So yes, the person who said this is borderline demonic, you're right. It is. It is. They don't love black men. They really don't.
If black men were kicked out of the workforce in the 60s to 80s due to deindustrialization, why would they get upset at Ebony for warning them about the possible Encore episode? That's the thing. Like, it feels like people are lying.
Why do men like this man actually aid our women in their own pathology? It doesn't make any sense in my opinion. Because you should be asking masculine black men instead of asking the man that apparently appears to play for the other team.
Because people will wonder like, oh my God, men are in the middle class and blah, 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 and black men are doing okay. If you believe that, there wouldn't be such a push for us to do better and talk about systemic racism. Systemic racism would not even be a part of the conversation. And to pretend like we're not doing poorly is just like the seed of intellectual dishonesty. Like the fact that people are pretending like it's not here yet. But the fact that people are like pretending like we're just doing great is ridiculous to me.
This is demonic.
And so I heard in that she wanted him to be the potatoes, the chicken, the crisp on the chicken skin, and was really kind of demanding how he had fried the chicken. Because demanding.
If she's going to eat that chicken, she can tell him how she wants that chicken cooked.
Absolutely.
So this man was counter to Iyanla's point. And even though Iyanla is not better, because she's older, at least she have a better pulse on trying to understand black men. She's trying to better understand black men, sadly. But that's a problem. Guys, if you got a comment you want me to read, donate to the channel. I'll read it out loud. Cash App 7 Smalls works better. But in the meantime, guys, keep listening as we break this thing down.
I'm tired of this.
Did it come across as demeaning to you? It did. I'm sorry. I know she says now that was not her intention. I know she says now that. And I believe if she had thought about it again, she may not have said it that way because she says only if he owned the bus. And my first thought was, well, damn, I want him to own the bus company. Because if that one bus goes down, we jacked up.
You want him to own the bus company, but you're condemning her for saying she wants him to own the bus.
Wait, I didn't hear this. I honestly did not hear this until just now.
This is coming off as an old hater hating on a younger, much more prettier woman than her.
Wait. Wait. Y'all are playing too much. Y'all is playing in our faces. Y'all is playing in our faces. She does not want the bus driver either. She doesn't want the bus owner. She needs you to own the bus company.
Yeah, I think she just wanted to make the type of black woman that Ebony is look a certain way. Because if you want him to own the whole company, then you have a higher standard than even Ebony position. So why then would you ask her that, as if you're trying to out her as a woman who looks down on black men and see them beneath her? It's looking a lot like a hating ass bitch situation. It's starting to. It's beginning to look a lot like a hating ass bitch. That's all I'm saying.
You white folks were pissed when Britney Spears married the backup dancer.
Guys, I need y'all to hit one. Do y'all feel that Cynthia G secretly really want black men? What's your all take on that? And why is there so much animus and vitriol in her voice when it comes down to black men? Why is there so much animus and vitriol in her voice when it comes down to black men?
So I had to pay him $40K a month and still pay. Yeah, and I've seen people have conversation about their child not dating. Like, you know what I mean? Let me move on. So there's consensus we're divesting from Iyanla, right? Look, I don't know. I rewind it.
That way, because she said, only if he owned the bus. And my first thought was, well, damn, I want him to own the bus company. Because if that one bus goes down, we jacked up.
So what's the reason you asked her?
Oh my God. Iyanla is playing in our face. It sounds like she's just mad at this woman because she don't even want to date the bus driver. That's what it's coming down to.
She's one of the problems with the older generation of black women.
She don't want to date the bus driver, but Iyanla Vanzant is old. And once again, women like her don't understand SMV. You know, guys, it really appalls me that average and subpar women think that they dictate the market. But ladies, you don't dictate the market. Men dictate the market. Men dictate the market that they want. And that's why I said, guys, in the clinical world, it's something called reaction formation. Reaction formation is when they say one thing, but they really mean something else. They say one thing, and they really mean something else. Is it because they secretly have a desire for black men?
And hopefully I will never become that, where I'm just older and I expired out the game, and so now I'm sitting over here trying to set up younger, prettier women to make them look a certain way, because ain't no way you should even be doing this live stream if you know your first thought is that he needs to own the whole bus station. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
But I didn't get into that because we were talking about, again, the context of the hardness, the toughness, the masculine drive. Really, that kind of energy for me is what a man would think about or look for in a woman who's going to mother his children, who's going to keep his house, who's going to help him build a legacy. That's what a man looks for. A woman who's
pretty unattractive from where I was sitting. She said that she described.
This is also an annoying thing. It's pretty unattractive from where I'm sitting. She does not care. She said she wouldn't date a bus driver. I'm pretty sure she would also say she wouldn't date you.
There's not many black women who would date him. Let's just be real. Like, when he first came on the screen, I was thinking, yeah, I just know black women are generally not checking for him, but we'll listen to what he's saying anyway. Like, he looks like he belongs in somewhere where Siegfried and Roy would be. He looks like he belongs there.
HR professional for 10 years, and I can run that down.
Pride people who work in such jobs as mediocre and succumbing to the low expectations of racism. I was surprised, to be very honest with you, because when I watched the entirety of your interview, really, the conversation or the comment that she made about the bus company or the bus owning the bus was really a very small part of it. I actually saw in her opportunities, attempt at empathy, attempt at reflection in her in that since that time.
And guys, this comment was about a doctor, Dr. Steven. I forgot his name, Dr. Steven.
And what envy, if you excuse the term for a second, but envy called shitty.
But they were trying to mock him, and this brother's a doctor.
That, look, as women go, I don't.
I think his name, Dr. Stevens.
But I don't need to say the size ones are ugly or mediocre or average.
And they were trying to mock him.
So it sounds now that she has taken what she believes to be excellent and using herself as the yardstick for the acquisition.
And that makes you wonder. That makes you wonder when it comes down to understanding what men really want.
Right now, people talking about
and it's a problem.
We're human beings, and I want to go to Funky Geneva said it the best. We all want the same thing. We want to be loved. We want to be valued. We want to be accepted. We want to be connected, heart to heart, soul to soul. But if it's about how much money you make and what kind of job you do and what kind of frills and things, what about not just coming together as people? And if women have that level of hardness in their heart, if they have that level of hardness in their heart, where if you're a bus driver or you got to work groups or you dig a grave or drive a truck, you can't do for me. What's going to happen? I think it's a combination of all things, but my primary thing, Steve, is women showing up in the world as masculine and not feminine, from their head and not their heart, from their intellect and not their intuition. And that is killing the world. Here's my question. You can answer it.
And that's the part.
If we want men of status, whatever.
That's the part that's destroying so many. They really want black men, but because they have such a high level of contempt, they don't respect black men. Guys, get the likes up. Donate to the channel. The robot just said we got bills to pay. If you guys like what I'm doing, guys, donate to the channel. Get the likes up. Thank you.
That is, or men who make a lot of money. How are we raising our sons? And what if our son's soul is not corporate, lawyer, doctor? What if it's artisan? What if it's entrepreneur? What if his soul is
Did she say what if his soul doesn't encompass lawyer or entrepreneur? So are you saying that black men innately are low achievers?
Girl, I didn't hear that. I did not hear that, but that is even funnier because I thought she said, what about our sons? And I was like, so you want people to date their son who doesn't do anything. Got it. Because she's going to talk about her children later, about one being super smart and one don't care about school or anything.
And this is what I don't like about these so-called educators, because you have two so-called educators up there, but they don't know that historically, and we'll say presently, because some cultures still do arranged marriages where when they're choosing the man, primarily they're choosing him based off the amount of money that he has. But why is she sitting there as an educator acting like she doesn't know that since the inception of marriage, it has been based on a man's economic status and position? Because she's going to say his status or whatever that is, like it's just a foreign unknown concept. It's not a foreign and unknown concept, lady. This is how it's always been done. Just because we have a raggedy, janky, broke community doesn't mean that everybody else haven't been operating based off of what do you have that I can benefit from? Can you provide for me?
Wait, just let's create a robot that provides. I'm gonna get me one of those.
Spiritual purpose is to be a drummer or an artist. You know, he may never reach social status. But how do we raise a male and how do we encourage our sons, our brothers, our husbands when their soul is not directed toward this social corporate status? What do we do with that as well?
So one of the places.
What does she mean? Their soul is not directed.
Guys, for the sake of adding some visualities to it, I'm going to get the original string. So hold tight, guys. We'll just do it that way. I want you guys to be able to see the visuals because I don't want you guys to fall asleep. But this is more or less adding context to why so many men are checking out. I just want to start the original part off. Start the original part off, guys, with without that. So hold tight. But
SEO smarter.
Black male agency is under attack.
With Wix, you can edit your metadata.
And women like this are complicit. And the linchpin to this whole conversation, guys, it's this woman that's been a nemesis that basically had a love for Kevin Samuels, but according to Obsidian, he curbed her. Cynthia G and Crystalline Carrison, whatever her name is. And I think a lot of this is reaction formation because some of these women talk black while sleeping and more or less promoting white men. But at the same time, they have a level of disdain for black men. But then when black men get the same black women, white women, or whatever other race of women, then they'll turn around and say black men are traitors. And this same wicked woman, Cynthia G, was hoping for the downfall of Jamie Foxx. So we'll just play it this way. Fair use. Shout out to my man Chris Lewis for the 10. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate it, Chris Lewis. Also, shout out to my man Kevin White for the 10. Thank you, Kevin and Chris. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. And you guys are the number one sponsors of the stream. Thank you.
That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it.
All right, let's get into it, guys, and break this thing down. But this more or less adds context to how this woman and how so many think that they get to determine SMV. And they get some of the weaker ilk of men, and this guy that appears to be very effeminate.
She couldn't let it go. She could not let that go.
She couldn't. Like a true, she's a true hardcore FDA approved thoroughbred Black male worshiper. That's exactly what she is. Now I understand why she did what she did.
She said, absolutely not. They do it to him too. Really? Let's compare stats.
Right.
Into the relationship first. You got to get into the relationship. And if I'm dismissing you because you're a bus driver or a truck driver, or we can't even get into the relationship. Or if I come into the relationship.
Wait, that's the point. That's the point. Don't get into the relationship with the person you don't want. What do you mean you get into it first? What do you mean? You have standards and boundaries and expectations, Sinji, hashtag, before you get into the relationship. So you know these.
But then look, thing is, if she was to get into a relationship and then constantly bring up the fact that he's just a bus driver, then that would be a problem too. They'd be like, well, you knew you didn't want a bus driver. Why'd you get in a relationship with him? That's what Ebony's saying. I'm not even going to waste my time being with someone who is economically beneath me because I already know how that's going to go. He's going to have to level up real quick. If it's me, I'm going to need you to come to that leveling up real fast. If you're a bus driver, you need to be falling into some ownership real quickly, or that relationship is not going to, it's just not going to last.
Not falling into some ownership.
Thinking I lowered my standards to be with you, I'm always going to have that in the back of my mind because women don't understand what we hold in our heart, we manifest in our experience.
Don't bleed on me if I didn't cut you. If I'm not the one who did this to you, don't put this on me. If you got an issue with your father, that's on him. Your uncle, that's on him. But me, I didn't do this to you. Give me the opportunity to establish myself in your life. If I'm constantly working,
and see, God, this is what Cynthia G issue is. Cynthia G, in my opinion, is definitely dealing with a lot of displaced aggression. She's dealing with a lot of displaced aggression, which is the negative ego defense mechanism. She has a lot of thinking errors like overgeneralization. And she's disrespecting Dr. Stephen Perry. I believe that's his name. And she's doing that, guys, because she's transferring her pain to any man that looks like her. But see, a woman like Cynthia G is a baby mama, a used womb. And some will argue that a woman like Cynthia G perhaps has been, like the old folks say, the young cats say, ran through. But Cynthia G thinks that she can dictate to men what they deserve. But Cynthia G, your belly years are getting before you. Your womb is used, but you want to dictate to men, a bus driver, about she's dating down. Ebony Williams, guys, was a public defender. Public defenders don't make a lot of money. And so Ebony Williams has more or less outlived her use as well. So the bus driver actually will be dating down if he got with Ebony Williams, because the qualifying point in the past was a virgin and women with no kids and being youthful. So she had to be chaste, youthful, and cooperative. But Ebony Williams does not qualify because I promise you, women like Cynthia G and Ebony Williams have been ran through. Let's get back into it.
Against the weight, swimming upstream. I get out the water. There's somebody else out here. And this notion that someone's asking you to lower your expectations, what are you talking about? What does that even mean to you? Someone saying, I love you for you? That's lower to you?
Because that's what I want to know. I want to know that. And let me just be real clear here, because I'm very sensitive to energy, and people are making this about me tearing Ebony down. This is not about me tearing Ebony down. Let me put that out there. This is not about that. I have a different perspective than she does. She has a different perspective than I do. And I'm also real clear that right now, the conversation that she and other people are having is not the conversation that we were having. So don't put that out there that I'm coming for Ebony. This is not even about Ebony.
You are, though. She is, though.
Love with condition. Do we use status?
Feels that way to me.
This is a competition for the type of woman that Iyanla is. For these black male worshiping older women, it becomes a competition. This is how they compete with younger women. You are coming for Ebony because there's no reason for you to act like what she said is problematic when, again, you said that he needs to own the whole bus station. You said that only you, before you were Iyanla, meaning before you were the millionaire, before you were the New York Times bestseller, before all of your accomplishments, you would have dated that transit conductor, but you would not now. So if you're trying to make something that she's saying problematic when you're essentially saying the same thing or requiring a higher standard, then yes, you are coming for her.
Hey, Pink Pill. And yes, that's how I feel.
Hey, famous. Hey, Sin. Oh my goodness. I was waiting for y'all to talk about this. I knew it was coming.
Trash
I knew it was coming.
situation.
Oh, Lordy. Cynthia, you were saying what I was just about to say before I got on about that was like my main point is like these will be.
Once again, that's the pink elephant in the room. The pink pill, crystalline kerosene, that talks black while sleeping white, and also Cynthia G. And normally I don't do shows about these women because I really don't care. But this woman, once again, has been a woman that has been consistent with projecting many of her biases. But once again, could it really be that Cynthia G really won't, and the pink pill really won't black men while being able to hold on to the power structure of white men? And that's something to make you think or more or less consider the pathology of some of these demented women.
Be the same men that'll say you should have chosen better. You shouldn't. You knew that you were dating a bus driver. It's not gonna work out. You know, it doesn't work out. It's all your fault. It's like, no matter what, it's always gonna be your fault. So if it's always gonna be your fault, then I guess you have to be very, very careful. And you can't give the bus driver a chance, can you?
And no millionaire, nobody who's in Ebony's position, close to being in her position, or in a position that's higher than a bus driver, none of those people should. I wouldn't date a bus driver. Absolutely not. I'm not dating a bus driver.
And let me tell you something. I may be the girl who swirls, but I ain't dating a black bus driver. I ain't dating a white bus driver, an Asian, Hispanic, Middle Eastern, alien bus driver. If you are a bus driver, I'm not dating you. I don't care who you are.
Do you think that Ebony's age is why people feel she doesn't deserve a man? No, I think they're gonna find a reason to push back against anyone, regardless of age.
Yeah, because she doesn't look 40. Like she presents as more mature than 40, but she does not look 40. I wouldn't have known she was 40 until.
Guys, this is what happens when you have privilege and when you live in America, because this woman, the pink pill, I believe, has 4 kids. Cynthia G is a baby mama, but these fools saying they wouldn't date a bus driver. Whereas in another culture, a bus driver that makes $60,000, $50,000, or $100,000 a year, if they make that amount, other women will be grateful to date that bus driver. But this is what happens with women that are ran through, kids by other men, lack of self-awareness, think they deserve top-tier men. And what happened when you have gravy-trained simps like Steve Harvey, they give these women something for nothing. And that's a problem. That's a problem, to say the least.
Oh, she said it.
Yeah, same. My soul says stay home and daydream. It also says do not help out with chores. Would Iyanla like to date me? Let's continue. Again, welcome, Crystal Lynn. I like this. Pink Pill, Sinji, we're doing it together.
I know. I'm just, listen, are you guys kind of, I don't know. Are you guys surprised at Iyanla at all with this? Because I remember years back, didn't she get into it with somebody about Black women accepting less? So is this a rebrand? Because didn't she go after, what's her name? Shahza Ali?
Yeah.
Back in the 80s? I just heard that. So I don't know. Just dropping that. Isn't that what happened? Is this a rebrand for her?
I think it's a rebrand because if you read her books, the advice in her books is not what she's talking about now. So I think, and then if you look at her Fix My Life, I don't remember her in Fix My Life episodes telling Black women that they need to date down or that they need to settle for less. I don't remember her telling them that.
Yeah,
In
I
fact,
don't
I
even.
remember her telling them the opposite, that they need to have higher standards.
Exactly. And wasn't she the one that was getting after the brother who had like 10 baby mamas? You know,
And DMX.
Remember that?
Yep.
And DMX. She was going after the dude who had a bunch of baby mamas. And she was going after DMX too. She stopped because she said the level of harassment, death threats, and criticism that she was getting. We know she wasn't getting them from Black women. Let's just say she was getting them from some. But anytime someone dares to try to suggest that Black men get some mental health counseling, or that they just fix themselves and look how DMX treated her.
By the way, sorry, I'm kind of distracted by both of you. Two beautiful women. This actually warms my heart so much. Like the fact that I had to do it. I'm sorry.
I just want to say publicly, Sin, you cool with me, sis. Absolutely.
And of course, she would use a man like Themis to speak on her behalf, because Themis is the epitome of a beta male, perhaps an omega male, and very feminine, or he might be alphabet. But I heard this young man say, help out with the chores. And here's why I want to challenge that talking point, guys. I want to challenge that talking point. I had this conversation with some female friends of mine earlier in the week. Women of old, women in the past, worked outside the home. They were traditional women. They were chaste. They didn't have kids out of wedlock. And some of those women in the 40s and 50s did not complain, didn't have modern conveniences, and they took care of their family and did it with pride and dignity. But you got old, ran through women like Pink Pill and Cynthia G that lack self-awareness and got the damn nerve to try to dictate to a man what he's going to do and date. These kind of conversations, guys, they don't get a lot of clarity because male-centered content is often minimized. That's why I need you guys to donate to the channel, and I need you guys to support it. The same good brothers always show love, so I need you guys to donate. I love doing male-centered content, but it's draining sometimes because it's the hard road. So I need you guys to support the channel. And if you don't have any money, share it. But this woman, Cynthia G, and the Pink Pill don't understand the pink elephant in the room. Some of these women, guys, don't want you to be happy. They don't want nobody else to have that BBC. And they think that they're better than you. And that's why they can be in America thinking that they can get what they deserve. But see, a woman like Cynthia G and the Pink Pill, if they went to Africa, they would be nobodies. They would be put in their place. Cynthia G would be invisible in certain parts of the continent of Africa. And so would the Pink Pill. But this woman, the Pink Pill, got 4 kids. I think she's been married once or twice. But you got the damn nerve to say what you deserve. Make it make sense. She would not have the time of the day if I was a bus driver. I wouldn't take this woman serious because she got other men offsprings.
All water under the bridge. Listen, we on the same team. Like, just we're moving forward. If you mad, oh boo-hoo, are you mad? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh,
if you're mad,
they about to click, and you know they about to do 8, 9, 10-hour live streams. And they just stay mad for all they want to. I don't hold grudges at all.
But guys, who's taking a baby mama, a demented baby mama that has disdain for black men? It's obvious she has mental illness. It's obvious she's dealing with classic projection, overgeneralization, displaced aggression, reaction formation, because if the right man came to her rescue, laid that wood good because she got with a lower tier man, according to what some of these brothers have said in this space. And the same men that she talked about, she gave her womb away. And guys, you know that some of these people in YouTube are fake. We understand some of them do it for the gram. But a baby mama with kids by a kid by another man. This woman, pink pill, been married maybe once or twice and got 4 kids, but they say they can get mad. That's why I tell you guys, man, you can get superior to the pink pill. You can get superior to Cynthia G. And you definitely look past men like Themis because they love effeminate men like him because he more or less placates them in their pathology. So once again, guys, do me a favor, donate to the channel, get the likes up, and let's finish this conversation.
Remember, I just don't hold grudges. So I can still be cordial and share the same space and even like a person because I don't really hold grudges.
I mean, like we literally are on the same team. Like you have a different delivery, I have a different delivery, but literally it's the same thing. It doesn't make sense. And I'm just gonna say, like, in this space, I feel like there should be more togetherness and collaboration. And I think content creators are afraid to do it because the fans just get weird. Like, you know, you start collabing with somebody, then it's like they want to start mess and this and that. But do you realize like how much stronger we would be as a community if we all could just put down the knives and the little 22 shooters and just like
how much stronger and how much more we would get done.
Exactly.
Like we would get a lot done. We would cover way more ground if we were.
But what these women don't understand is that you don't dictate the market. You must become who he wants you to become instead of telling him what he should become. And we're not talking about the non-productive men that like to sleep on the couch. We're not talking about guys that love to live off women. But we're talking about high-end blue-collar men that build this world. High-end white-collar men that more or less finesse the world, do knowledge and intellect, and more or less higher thought and criticism. But also to blue-collar men to do the same thing because it does take a high level of criticism to do some of the work of a blue-collar man as well. But we minimize and reduce the power of blue-collar men. But you must laugh at women like Cynthia G and the pink pill and her henchman, this young man up top that's very feminine, might be alphabet, Themis, because they don't really add any clarity to the conversation. But see, people like that, guys, they get support. That's why men need to support male-centered content. Because male-centered content, guys, is hard because it's going against the narrative and going against the grain. And so, guys, support the stream. If you can't support it, share the content, and let's get back into it.
Collaborating and unifying, but I think as Black women, we don't like to admit that we share part of the pathology that Black men do, like the part of their pathology where they can't get along with each other. They refuse to unify. They want to destroy and compete with each other. Mm-hmm. We have that same pathology too as Black women. It's just something that we don't want to admit to. We'll point it out in Black men, but we won't point out how we can be in the same space doing nearly the same thing, but we can't somehow come together because we do have the competitiveness. We do have the notion that we don't want to see, and I use we loosely, but that we don't want to see the next woman elevate. And we don't want to see the next Black woman elevate. And I do think that that's something that we need to talk about because there is a whole lot of information on YouTube.
I mean, like, to me, the message is too important to just be petty. I think that if people are really serious about, like they say they're serious, then, you know, we got to put the knives down.
Well, according to the information, this woman, Cynthia G, was actually hoping, guys, was hoping for the demise of Jamie Foxx. Make that make sense. She was hoping for the demise of Jamie Foxx. Shout out to my man Kevin White again for the $10 super sticker. Thank you, brother. Shout out to my man Mujahdi. He sent me $2. He said Themis is a punk. I see it. Yeah. Thank you, Mujahdi. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Let's get back into it.
I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yep. And if you look at these viral stories, like, because I get on Instagram and I see them mentioning our names in the comment section. I see them, you know, adding certain celebrities. Like somebody was just adding Ebony Williams, telling them, okay, look, follow these people, they're on your side. So I know that our messages are spreading.
Absolutely.
I know they are. I just think we could do way more if we were able to unify. We would do way more.
Yeah. Well, you know, listen, subscribers, you guys got to let it happen. You know, we can't get caught up in petty mess. It's stupid. And you know what? I think as Black women, we're better than that.
Yeah, we
We're
are.
better than
I am hopelessly optimistic, and this just warms my soul. So thank you both for this. I know it's not for me, but like I truly appreciate just the willingness to share space. So that alone, thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate
no,
it.
definitely. I don't have anything against Crystal, and I don't. I actually respect what she does. I've always respected what she's done. Even when we have had our differences, I still anybody will tell you I've always said how pretty she is and how I respect what she does. I've always said that no matter what issue I've taken, because I may be aggressive, okay, but what I'm not is a hater. So if another
But this woman, the pink pill, which is the pink elephant in the room, that talks black while sleeping white, actually came on Kevin Samuels' show before he passed away. And at some point, maybe I can find that and bring it up. But she came on his show being all debonair and trying to be understanding. But this same wicked woman, I guess because according to Obsidian, when I was listening to his show, became distraught because according to Obsidian, he doesn't mix business with pleasure. And then when he passed away, she was more or less laughing, saying she was glad that he was deleted or deceased. And so that's what reaction formation is. Some of these women say we're not good enough, they don't want you, and that's fine. You know, they say you're dusty, you're not whatever, and that's still fine. But that does not change the fact that you're ran through. It doesn't change the fact that you have a lot of unconscious pathologies. It doesn't change the fact that men of value and standards not going to take you serious for a wife. These same ignorant women don't understand is that they do not dictate the market. Men dictate the market. Masculine men dictate the market, but with so many simps in the world, guys, men have began to minimize their power for the sake of appeasing women like the pink pill and Cynthia G, who I call Rosette.
pretty and she's doing something good for herself, I have no problem saying that. Even if I don't like her, even if I think low of her, I'm still going to say, well, she's still doing her thing. She's still beautiful. She still has these qualities, you know, that are very good qualities. So I have no problem saying that about anyone, actually.
Likewise. I think the way that you deliver things is a way that I couldn't, but it's a way that gets the message. Your clapbacks are so much better than mine. I'm not good at clapping.
She is the queen to drag. I'll just sit there and just watch drag after drag after drag.
No, I think it's because I have a bunch of sisters. So Black women already have reckless mouth. I think we do have a thing for where we can cut somebody down with our mouths in a minute. I think Black women have a natural talent for it. So add to that having
I missed that, Jean. I did. I'm a big
no. I don't know that I would say that. I don't know that.
I just clap back in different ways. It's more like I come at you sideways rather than. You
know. I can deal with a straight-on attack. I don't know if I can deal with a sideways attack.
Oh no, I'll get you from behind and sideways.
I mean, but you even, and it's not to say you're like Candace Owens, because no, Candace Owens is over there by herself. But even with Candace Owens, you can tell she can get down in the mouth too. If she, you can tell with Candace Owens, she will get down in the mouth.
She showed up to the Black Lives Matter people's house pregnant with a camera girl.
And that's the part that I like about her. That's the part that I like about it, because it's like, okay, listen, Candace Owens, she says what she says, but this lady ain't no punk. She seems like she's no punk, and she'll actually take it there with what she needs to.
And you know what I think too that I learned about her and just in general.
And once again, guys, this is Dr. Stephen Perry. This is Dr. Stephen Perry. And Dr. Stephen Perry was more or less trying to parrot some of the sentiments of Iyanla Vanzant. But because these women are deaf, they try to find fault in this man. And in being deaf, they deny the evidence. They become enraged when you present them with the evidence. They argue to ad hominem attacks, meaning they attack the messenger instead of the message. And they fight you or they flee. And they got a high level of contempt for Iyanla Vanzant because of what she's saying is true. Once again, Iyanla Vanzant is no better to some degree, but she's an old school feminist that finally came to her common sense. But once again, you will listen to an effeminate man like Themis, a baby mama in Cynthia G, and a divorcee in the pink pill, which is the pink elephant in the room, because in my mind, I think she's projecting reaction formation, which is when a person say one thing, but really being something else. Because if Crystal and Carrington could get the typical Black man that she wanted, a man of status and style and pizzazz like a Kevin Samuels, she would purr like a kitten. And so would Rosette in the middle. But, I'm not trying to talk about this young man, but I heard somebody say these women need to be careful because Themis could be competing with them for their men. So, I don't know if he's alphabet or not, but he's very effeminate, to say the least.
Girl, just never freaking apologize. Like, I just, like, she says the most craziest stuff, but
I
will never apologize.
I understand that, and I understand why.
Shout out to my man Gregory Scotland for showing love. Gregory Scotland always show love, and I really appreciate it, man. He's a good brother, always show love. I got nothing but love for Gregory Scotland. But one for good men like Gregory Scotland, man, I don't know if I'll be doing these shows because these shows are very time-consuming. But shout out to Gregory Scotland, as he is the #1 sponsor of this stream. He says we as black men need to get it in our heads that we must actively promote dating beyond American black women, even the American white woman. We love our mothers too much, and that causes us too much grace. You're 1,000% correct, Gregory Scotland. I think black men should date women that honor and respect them. If she's a black woman from the diaspora, so be it. But once again, Gregory, you're 1,000,000% correct. This woman being a subpar woman and the pink pill more or less want to tell black men what they deserve and what they should get. But once again, this woman is a baby, is a divorcee, and Rosette in the middle is a baby mama. So Gregory Scotland, thank you for your love offering, brother, and you are the #1 sponsor of this stream. I appreciate it. Thank you to Gregory Scotland. And if you guys have not donated, show some love. You got a question for me, I will support it by reading it out. Thank you, Gregory, as you're the #1 sponsor of the stream and always coming through and showing love, brother. I appreciate it. All right, we're going to get back into it. Hold tight, guys.
I don't appreciate that. But yes, I understand why people would like that. But I can't do it.
It doesn't matter. Like, if they don't like you, if people don't like you, it doesn't matter if you apologize or not. It's not going to change their mind. It's just going to make you look weak.
Yeah, well, the apology isn't necessarily for someone, even though it is, obviously. It's because I feel contrition about what I did, and if I think it's wrong. Like, if I don't think it's wrong, I'm not apologizing.
Yeah, I'll apologize if I feel bad and think it's wrong too. But otherwise, yeah, good luck getting an apology on me. So it's just like I don't apologize. Apparently, this is the anniversary of some YouTuber. Maybe you might have heard of him. Anniversary of his death, and I didn't know that, but I was reminded of it.
Now look at this woman, guys. Look at this wicked woman. But this is the same woman that came on Kevin's channel. She came on his channel when he was alive, trying to act like she was trying to placate to relationships. But because she got curved, now she's saying she's not sad that he's dead. Look at his eyes, guys. Look at your boy Themis to the top. Look at Themis. Full of gossip and full of corn syrup. But this woman said she didn't cry when Kevin Samuels passed away, man. Make it make sense.
And guess what? I'm still not sorry. He's dead. I said I wasn't sorry when he died, and here I am saying what I said.
I do not speak ill of the dead.
I didn't say all I said. I didn't wish him to die, but when he died, I wasn't on the floor gnashing my teeth, tearing my clothes. I don't understand why people don't understand that nobody's going to be sad if you're an unlikable person. Unlikable people are not going to be missed.
Unlikable, guys, but this is the same heifer was on that man's channel talking about relationships, how she's trying to learn, and how she's trying to understand. And guys, once again, this goes back to the chameleon complex. They are chameleons because they don't respect true masculine black men. This woman was on this man's channel, and I remember it. She called in when he was alive. But he was likable when you were trying to get them digits. But when he chose not to lay down with you, according to what I heard Obsidian say, now all of a sudden, I don't care. So shout out to Themis for saying he don't speak ill will of the dead. At least the brother got some level of decorum for that. But he shouldn't even have these hyenas. He shouldn't even have these hyenas on his panel because they're definitely low vibrational hyenas.
Let's go break it just a little bit.
Look,
Like, why is that a crime?
Wait, he dragged black women. I as a black man was saved from his drilling, I think. So for me, I would never tell a black woman, oh, you need to. I don't care. But I am personally never going to say anything negative about him being passing. But I don't care if people do. But I won't. But I'm going to move on.
Senator, were you sorry?
Absolutely not, which is why I call him worm food. He's worm food as far as I'm concerned. But even if I passed today, I would expect black men to like piss on my grave if I was going to be buried.
Me too.
I would expect it. I would.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be offended, and I wouldn't expect my fans to be like, "You danced on Crystal and Karen's grave." It wouldn't be surprising me. Water is wet and the sky is blue. Like I wouldn't expect any of these people to mourn me. I know they hate my guts.
Hey, Monique.
Listen, I will be petty, and if you come to my grave, I'm about to haunt my grave. I'm gonna bother you from the afterlife, and I'm petty like that. But I still expect it nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Listen, like if something happened to me tomorrow, I got run over by a bus driver because I said no to a date. Nobody, these guys would not be mourning me, and I wouldn't expect them to.
No. Well, I think it's uncouth. I'm kidding. I don't care what anyone does. I'm not about to do it.
I know you're so classy, and normally I try to be classy, but with this, I just don't. I'm sorry. It was the moment, and somebody's been chasing me around. Anyway, somebody online has been chasing me around for a year about me not being sorry about that, and I'm like, I'm never going to be sorry about it. You can keep chasing, and every time you confront me on it, I'm going to say I'm not sorry. I did not like the guy. I didn't. Anyway, well, we can move on.
Well, join the club because there's a lot of videos out there of Cindy disrespected Kevin in the worst way, and I will continue to.
Yeah,
and it's like I will continue to systematically, purposely, intentionally, and very pettily. I will choose to do that. Disrespect
with gusto and enthusiasm.
Yes, knowing that there's nothing bad that can do to stop me.
Exactly. Honestly, that was the most freeing thing was when I stopped trying to explain, try to apologize, and just say, yep, this is what I do. This is what I said. What are you going to do about it? They can't do a damn thing. Why am I arguing with people? You can't do a damn thing about it. Nothing you can do.
And if it's not that, it's going to be something else. And it's like, I don't have time to be setting up changing for everybody. Like,
exactly. You won't even recognize yourself as much as people.
And how you deal with women like this, guys, it's becoming different. These women are many of them are a microcosm of a greater macrocosm. This is becoming different. Because there's a lot of American women just like this.
People want you to change. You're like, who am I?
Yeah, no,
are y'all done or are y'all finished?
Yes, we're finished. You can go back to your sorry.
Yeah.
Girl talk. Sorry.
No. Y'all be dragging. Just drag the casket from under the ground and keep dragging.
When it comes to date as women, because we are in our minds, in our intellect so very often, and not in our heart. Because as a woman, I can feel when a man is, balanced. Is it that so many women don't know what an emotionally healthy, available man looks like? So we use.
Yes, no one knows what that. No one knows this idea of vetting better, which is ultimately what she's talking about. Actually, let me stop. Let's get through some of this before we start.
Status and income as criteria. Is it because we don't believe we can get a good man? We look for a successful man.
I think it's something in between there. I think that for a lot of women who speak like that, because that's not the group that I typically travel with in any way, any parts of my life. But what I hear when I run across said group leads me to believe that they're lacking something inside themselves. They want to be able to show up to the Jack and the Jill. They want to be able to show up to the gala. They want to be able to show up to the boule.
And see, guys, it's so many black men wouldn't simp so much. A woman like Pink Pill wouldn't be so arrogant. Women like her about 50 years ago would have been grateful if she got a damn sharecropper. But you looking your nose down on a man because he's a bus driver, but you're a baby mama in the divorcee and probably been ran through. But you think your ass set the bar and the barometer for what men want and what men should get. That's why, guys, to you hardworking blue-collar brothers, ignore them. Get your passport if you can't find a good quality woman here in America. With the understanding, if you travel abroad, women universally are the same at their core level. If you're a broken man in America, you'll be broken abroad and you will get used. But I think your odds are a lot higher if you travel abroad. With the understanding, if you go to the city to find a wife, it's going to greatly reduce your chances. Your best bet is to talk to somebody that know the area and go to the countryside or the villages, unless you're trying to look for an educated woman in the city versus some of these women that are trying to more or less exploit you with their bodies.
And brag, because there's something about them that they feel like they need from that person, that he's somehow, and it's like, no, I'm just saying I want someone to be equal. I don't know if that's an issue of equity, because equity can be found in many different ways. We're talking about distilling equity to a single part, which is what you do for a living, which is where you.
Yes, financial and academic equity. I don't understand equality. I don't know what you're talking about. I feel like this is very clear. Women say, I don't want to date down. I feel like that's very, very clear.
Right. And the thing is that you're right. I don't want to go like, what business do I have taking a bus driver to the gala, to the business conferences? We don't have any.
What business does a man have taken her to his mama or his grandparents or whatever? A divorcee, a woman that has a vitriol towards black men and got kids. Cynthia Pink Pill would have never made it back in the old school. She would have been a nobody, maybe even a spinster. She would have been a pariah in the black community. But see, guys, now dysfunction is normal and normal is dysfunctional.
Anything really in common. He may be a good guy. He may be, heart of gold and all of that. But I'm looking for.
Shout out to my man Marcus B28 for the $2. He said, "Dollars of the devil, just evil." Yes. And
hello, lucky person. You got the number right, because you are talking to Kid a Dynamite. Pure Dynamite.
For a certain level, and again, women don't apologize for that. It's like, okay, he's a bus driver, and here's the other thing too, is they make it about money. They're like, well, if he's in New York and he's part of the transit authority, then he's gonna make this kind of money. And I'm like, it's not just about the dollars, it's about like your mindset. What do we talk about? Like, what, are you up to date on current events? What are you reading? Like, here's what I'm reading. What are you reading? Like, are you reading, Vibe, and I'm reading freaking The Atlantic? Like, there's so many fundamental things. And research shows that when women marry down or pair down, it's always bad for them. It almost always is a bad decision. Your net worth.
But see, what this goofball don't understand is that's why I say, guys, this hyena is very masculine, because a very feminine woman, and that man is ambitious. That feminine woman can be so powerful that she can see the good in that man and help purport that man to greatness. But see, women like Rosette, aka Cynthia G, she married a guy pregnant by a loser. And a true feminine woman that see potential a lot of times. We're not talking about guys that got a 5-year rap plan, but I'm talking about a man that's on this game. They can help push that man to greatness. But women like this don't take that in consideration because they're too arrogant and too condescending.
Goes down. These men are more likely to cheat because they want to feel like men. I mean, it's just
become abusive.
Abusive. They want to be more masculine. Trying to, it's not worth it because again, it's not going to work out. And then the community is going to blame you anyway. They're going to say you should have chosen better. So if you get the blame, the risk is too high, ladies. The risk is just too high.
Someone said this, and this is the truest comment I've seen. I don't know why he brought up Jack and Jill and the Boule and then put bus driver. Those people are not even answering that question. So I didn't.
But she asked Ebony that question to set her up anyway. So we now know that because when she made that statement about, the first thought that popped in my head was that he needs to own the bus station. Well, then you asked Ebony that question to set her up. Then. You clearly did.
The panel is not open yet, Alexander.
Work, which changes throughout the course of your life. And if you know anything, if you, for instance, are an entrepreneur, you watch your fates dip and soar. And if you are someone who started your own thing or you're working somewhere, you watch these things ebb and flow. The only people who have a constant trajectory, quite frankly, are the very people that we're talking about, which are those blue collar people. There's a consistent flow of their career. So I find that the women who
I saw you,
and that's true. Dr. Stephen Perry is correct. Blue collar men make bank. Some blue collar men make more money than these so-called lawyers. But see, Ebony Williams confused her degree with power and status. But what's a degree if that degree can't garner you the same kind of power as the power of a blue-collar man? I got a good friend. He's a thermonuclear engineer, works in a thermonuclear plant, makes about $150,000 a year. But you got women like Cynthia G and the pink elephant in the room looking down on men. And look at Brother Corn Syrup. Look at Brother Corn Syrup, guys. Brother Corn Syrup over here say, hey, look at Brother Corn Syrup.
And I felt it. Yes, that's not a thing.
Yeah, no. But this is what I told you they were trying to do. They're trying to repackage mediocrity as somehow elevated. And it's like, no. Like, what do you mean? A bus driver is not going to be on the steady path to success. Like, we just looked it up. You only have to have a high school diploma.
And the thing, it also speaks to your ambition. Because if you're just happy being the bus driver and I'm a corporate lawyer, what are your opportunities for advancement as a bus driver? I don't know. I mean,
nobody's happy being a bus driver. Crystalline.
And here's her object ignorance. She's trying to conflate a high school diploma to a 8-year degree or a 6-year degree. There are people that never got high school diplomas or never graduated from college, and they're making more money, way more money than some white collar professionals. Degrees still have power, especially if they're in the STEM field. But you get a worthless degree in art, sociology, psychology. It's a worthless degree for the most part, unless you go to grad school or get a PhD. And then even with a PhD, there are many PhDs, depending on where they teach, that make anywhere from $76,000 to maybe $80,000 or $90,000. But there are white blue-collar men that make superior to that. But see, our black women years ago understood their husbands that worked on the farm that might have had a third-grade education. I might even do a show on that called The Third Grade Education, a response to Cynthia G. A third-grade education, a response to Cynthia G. and the Pink Elephant. Those men sent their wives to college. But if they were very industrious in their area and had a nice bumper crop, it could be argued perhaps that those men were more important than a woman with a degree. But see, these fools don't understand that. That's why I tell the average hardworking blue-collar man, look past women like this, because you will be selling, if you got with them, a baby mama and a woman that's probably been ran through and got kids by other men.
Have you ever met anybody who aspired to be a bus driver? No. Like,
I feel like that was something that my parents. Did you feel like boomers were like, get you a good job, get you a government job or a city job so you could get that pension? I feel like that was at one point aspiration.
Shout out to Passport OG for the 5, man. I appreciate the Passport OG. He said black men aren't good enough. Date better.
Hello, lucky person. You got the number right, because you are talking to Kid a Dynamite. Pure Dynamite.
Like, do you remember that?
Both of you have met someone who want to be a bus driver, Prince Petty.
Oh my gosh. I mean, like, Petty needs to sit down.
I feel like Petty's too smart to want to just be a bus driver.
Petty's not aspiring to be the bus driver. Petty is being petty and trolling. He would not want to. No one aspires to be a bus driver. Nobody says, when I grow up, I want to be a bus driver. Let me frame my education, which stops once you get out of high school.
And no man of common sense grows up and say, I want to take care of a woman that got kids by another man. No man with common sense say, when I grow up, I want to be with a baby mama. No man who grows up with common sense say, I want to get with a divorcee and a woman that got kids by other men and perhaps have been ran through. You see how that goes, guys? Men, you set the trajectory for relationships, not Rosette in the middle and your girl, Kristen Carrison. Most high-value men will use her just for a warm body, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
So that I can be a bus driver. Like, really, no. People settle for being bus drivers. They don't aspire to be it. And you usually settle for being bus drivers after you failed in some area of your life. Nobody is going to convince me different. So it's a failed position.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. Yes, teacher. Yes, nurse. Yes, doctor. Maybe lawyer, but never bus driver. You're right. It wasn't one of those. It wasn't an answer I had.
Offended. What do you mean maybe lawyer? I'm kidding. What do you mean maybe lawyer? I'm very offended.
Lawyers are aggressive.
It was in the top 4, so.
But it was 4th. It was 4th in the top 4.
And it was only because I was like, you got to go to school that long?
We got to go to one school.
No, doctors go to school longer.
Doctors go to school for a long time.
I know, they go to school for a decade almost.
So, and look at this, guys. Some of the doctors that go to school say they get a doctorate in, I don't know, psychology. Depending on where they live, they might make anywhere from 7 to 8, maybe to 100,000, 120. But a man to get in the STEM field or get a certificate he can make that or more. A plumber or electrician can make that or more, especially a masculine electrician. But a blue-collar guy got all the accolades and the money without the debt. These women got the degree, but they got debt. So what good is prestige if you're struggling in student loan debt? It makes no sense.
Do too, because they have to go to medical school. So
yeah,
so
so
it
I was
wasn't
like,
the schooling then, Pink Pill.
Wait, say it again?
It wasn't the schooling. You just ranked lawyers at number 4 because you don't like lawyers. Got it.
Well, a lawyer might have a certain personality type that she doesn't want to deal with, because lawyers do have certain personalities. Typically very aggressive. They're typically
it's like they don't know how to turn it off. It's like, I am not the opposing counsel. Okay.
Well, tell Sinji that, because she has the lawyer mentality.
I don't think you could date a lawyer. Disagrees becomes the opposing counsel. That's why whoever disagrees, they become the opposing counsel.
Yeah, ready to drag. Where are these spiritual black men that she's speaking of? I need to find out for y'all, and I will let you know. They're still looking for Doug Wins X10 freak in the sheet with a big booty, Hafiz and Anthony O'Neill. Period.
And you know what? I find it's the most uneducated men who want the most, who tend to be the most kind of misogynistic. Like, you're working your corporate job and you're making circles around him and pay, but he's still going to expect you to come home and do all the wifely duties. Can I give a quick example of the story? So I have a friend who has a degree in.
That's why, men, you don't marry women like Cynthia G, the Pink Pill, and get with women in other cultures that understand that even if I work outside the home, my responsibility, my duty is for my family and my husband. That's why I tell you, men, just to stay single. Don't deal with these modern entitled women that's been ran through. Focus on yourself, reevaluate your mental health, and move forward.
In social work, she met her husband while she was doing an internship at a jail, and he was doing 6 years for armed robbery. I advised her against it, but she decided to marry him anyway. And believe me, and to my shock, they are still married. But she would tell me that she would come home working like 10 hours a day, and then the kids' homework wouldn't be touched, dinner wouldn't be done, the house would be a mess, the house would smell like weed. And she's like, could you help with cooking the dinner? What about helping the kids with the homework? Oh, that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. It's always them. It's always them.
Because they still need to feel like a man even though they're not providing. Got it. I'm going to move on. That is a drag.
Can I say something to the person who said lawyers are liars? They're not. They just know how to manipulate facts and bend the truth. But that doesn't mean that they're a liar. They're a lot like psychologists, actually. If you think about it, they're actually just a more aggressive version of a psychologist. They know how to ask you the questions to get a certain answer, and they know how to manipulate you into giving them a certain response. Psychiatrists and psychologists know how to too.
That's true. Can you imagine a lawyer who's also a psychologist? I wouldn't want to argue against him.
You would just have a really manipulative person at the end of the day.
A dark empath.
Someone or something to make them feel like they are somehow accomplished. And that to me is a problem, because fates change. Jobs come and go. People lose their job. Disney's hiring 10,000 people, some ridiculous number.
I feel like that's the argument for why you need to date someone on your level, so that when your things aren't working out, you have someone who can sustain your life. Anyway, maybe I'm thinking about it too much.
No, but here's the thing. Like, if you're a bus driver and you get laid off, what are your transferable skills?
None. You can go be a truck driver. You can be a truck driver. And I'm not even saying a truck driver is a bad position, because if you're an over-the-road truck driver, then you will make quite a bit of money. But a lot of truck drivers aren't over the road, and they don't make a lot of money. But the over-the-road ones do. They make quite a bit of money, actually.
And see, guys, fair exchange is no robbery. I don't have a problem with a woman wanting a man to be a good provider. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with a woman want a man to be a good provider and protector. But ma'am, Sister Rosette, Brother Corn Syrup, and Pink Pill, what are you giving that man back in return? You're not a virgin. I'm sure your body count is high. You both got kids by other men. You don't have any domestic skills. You don't know how to make or build generational wealth. But you want to more or less use another man's money. You don't know how to more or less give that man peace. But you think you deserve a man of quality to come rescue you and or marry you. Make it make sense.
So you can be a truck driver, but a felon can be a truck driver.
They can?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's scary. Because I need to hire a truck driver to deliver all these bottles and stuff I got come in. Ooh, Lord, I didn't know that. Okay.
they're no longer valuable to their partner. That's what we're setting up here. And at the same time that we're doing that, we're damning people who are making decisions that are different than what we believe.
I'm sorry, what is he talking about? Because no one is saying you can't have a good life and find relationship and date. They're saying they won't date you. Like, I don't, you can literally go out there and find fulfillment on your own with people on your level. Like,
they don't understand the concept of compatibility. This is just what I learned from listening to them. They don't understand how compatibility in multiple different areas matters when you're in a relationship.
That's very interesting that he said the standards for the other men was much higher. Yeah, no, he wants you to judge on a curve, and I don't like that.
I mean, what if you know what would be the biggest troll? If she gets with a white bus driver.
No,
oh, that would be so trolly.
Shout out to my man Gregory Scotland, once again, the number one sponsor of this stream. Gregory Scotland said, these are educated fools. We used that term in the 1960s. I understand better now why we never liked them. You're 1,000% correct. They are educated fools because they're not cerebral outside of pedagogy. Thank you, Gregory Scotland, for being the number one sponsor of this stream. And you got a deal right.
It's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it.
Well, she don't even need to be with a white bus driver. The fact that her last fiance was, her ex-fiance was white is something they are not letting go.
They've been crying about that for the last 7 interviews.
I don't understand is about all of this. And I asked the men on Clubhouse who were complaining about this. They've been complaining about this for days. I said, what? Okay, so this lady who is a TV personality who is very successful says she does not want to date a bus driver. Why does it upset you? What do you think personally that is such an affront? What do you think her ideals and what she believes? How do you believe that is dangerous for you? How do you think this is going to affect you and your relationship prospects? In other words, why the F do you care?
Sinji was explaining this either earlier on her video, now all of it runs together, where it's like, bus drivers are stand-in for lower, like Ian brought it up to make it about lower than you, someone below you essentially.
And guys, you know why I'm so offended by these goofy women? My dad worked at a paper mill. My dad got to the 11th grade. And my mom was honored to be with my father. My parents are still married. My dad is 80. My mom is in her 70s. And that was a generation where women were women. They weren't perfect, but they were more traditional. But these modern women, guys, really aren't worth a damn. And that's why you shouldn't waste your time, guys, dealing with these dusty, goofy women. Once again, thank you to Gregory Scotland for the $30 super chat. I appreciate it, guys. We need more guys like Gregory Scotland to show love and support some of you brothers that are listening. I know you guys like the content. So donate to the channel. Make my time worth it because the time will come, guys. And I love you, brothers. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing this type of content because it's hard and it's a lot of work. But until I stop, I will continue as a therapist to try to inspire you, brother. There's a lot of good content creators, male content creators. But to the good brothers that support it, guys, thank you and continue to show love. Thank you, brothers.
She brought it up. And that is a stand-in for men in the Black community. And wanting a higher standard just generally is affecting their ability to date if women adopt Ebony's mentality.
I don't think it's about the bus driver comment. I think it's about the fact that she said he would have to own something. Yeah. It's the ownership requirement that's a problem because how many Black men are in an ownership position? But then you're raising your standard above the majority of Black men. And I think that's the core problem with them. They can play semantics and say, oh, it's because you said average and mediocre. No, it's not. It's because she said that the only way she would deal with a bus driver is if he owns something. Mm-hmm. It's ownership that they have the issue with.
Yeah. And entrepreneurship, because it takes guts. It takes a level of communication, of creativity, and did I say intelligence already? But it takes all of those things to be an entrepreneur, to go out there and do something that isn't safe. It's not safe. It's a risk, but you got the guts to do that. That's assertive. That's true maleness, in my opinion.
And I would say that Black men, this is why I care, because I think Black men do have that capacity. But if we continue to tell them that they don't, they will continue to believe that they don't. And I don't like that. I think we need to raise the bar. And I don't know why people are fighting that. Like, I feel like there should have been a collective amen to Ebony. And now we're talking about this as if we need to cuddle people. No, I'm not for that.
But raise the bar for what, Brother Corn, sir? Brother Themis? Raise the bar for what? What are you raising the bar for? What is a man getting for his hard work, dedication, and money? He's not getting low bodies. He's not getting a virgin. So what is he getting? But see, this conversation is always one-sided, men, because women like her, these two women, they think they're better than you because they have degrees. And masculine men don't care about that.
Dropping in the collection, please. Thank you. Mariah.
About relationships. This to me is about showing the rest of the world that you matter. Being able to show up with the doctor or who walks around telling people that they're an attorney when no one's asked you that question.
Anyone who believes they should have pride in what they do. If you work, I don't do it because I don't care. But I don't feel any way if someone is like coming to me and say, hey, I'm doctor whatever, or I'm attorney whatever. You work very hard for your degree. You can say it. Absolutely not. Forget your feelings. People can say it. They can lead with their resume if they want. That's fine.
And this guy with his bow tie, what does he do? What's his background?
He's auditioning for the next version of Back to the Future. That's what he's doing.
But I mean, he doesn't look like a bus driver either. So why is he fighting for bus drivers? That's what I'm.
Oh, he's gonna tell you why. No, it's coming up. Let's get. Well, hopefully we can get through this because when the people come on, that's the most exciting part. Because he's gonna tell you why he's upset. He is going to tell us why it bothers him so much. They know if they don't admit racism affects black women as much as it does black men, they'll no longer have an excuse for their comfort and mediocrity. Yeah.
But racism doesn't affect black women as much as it affects black men. It affects them more.
Yeah.
Well, racism the same amount, but then we have sexism
yeah.
on top of it. So yeah.
It wasn't even a point of the conversation. Why are you leading with this? Why does that matter? If we're having a legal conversation, why are we talking about your law school experience? If it's not in that setting, similarly, why do we need to know where you clerk? Why do we need to know where you work?
Iyanla needs to stop shaking her head because she knows in a lot of high profile situations, they're going to want to know, what do you do?
Yeah.
It's a common question that everybody asks. Like, I get asked it.
It's
all the
small
time.
talk. It's small talk.
Why would you, if it doesn't matter how you, it matters how you show up because this is how you decided to show up. You showed up with the bow tie and your hair part sideways for a specific reason. You wanted to show an image. It's not giving what you think it's supposed to give, but you showed up dressed specifically to present an image. It is a problem that y'all are mad when people are leading with whatever degrees they're leading with. If you have it, flaunt it. If you don't, get it. I don't know. But these
Listen,
people
do black men seem like the type of people who, if they had the accomplishments, that they would be flaunting it? Absolutely. Please. If black men have any accomplishment, everybody has to hear about it. Everybody.
This man barely graduated law school, hadn't even taken the bar you're talking about. He is the prize. What do you mean?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I was like, I mean, when they get it, they want everybody to know. And they want to be like, nana, nana, boo, boo, ah! They want everybody to know.
White women, and that's not even an accomplishment. It's not even a
But in another culture,
they're not doing anything.
this brother will be
But they run around
venerated.
telling everybody they are, as if they're in some elite.
Dr. Stephen Perry will be venerated, guys,
About your degree don't matter
in another
is because
culture.
they don't have it.
Yeah. You're not too long in the tooth.
Dr. Stephen Brown
Thank you for your
or Perry will be venerated in another culture, unlike America.
Think of it this way. When two people are at the gym and they form a friendship based upon the fact that they're both at the gym. And they form a friendship because they're both mothers. And then they both get there at the same time. And then the friendship grows. And then if one person finds out that she cleans house, another person finds out she needs the house clean. That doesn't mean this person's above this person. That means y'all just found a partnership. Yo, you clean.
That is not a partnership. If
And
you
that's
clean
not
house
how it
and I want my house clean and I'm paying you to clean my house, that is not a partnership.
Yeah, that's employee and employer. It's like I'm literally hiring you to come clean out my toilet. I'm probably not doing that. Like, cut it out.
Like, y'all just wanted to change the verbiage so y'all feel better. Because no one looks at that as a partnership. I'm thinking this is really a conversation about social mobility and social class. Some people are aspirational. It seems like most are not, right?
And see, guys, that's why you got to stay away from these modern women, because they believe in partnerships. And if you're a man of faith or you believe in old school tradition, you can't have a wife and have a partner. Because a partner means we both take dutiful roles and doing the same thing. So my wife is my partner. That means that she must cut the grass when I'm not there. She's my partner. It basically means that for the sake of the family, she must change the tire while I'm on my phone. If she's my partner, somebody breaking our house 3 times, we both need to take turns, because that's what partners do. They have what's called mutual benefits and mutual responsibility. But it's partnership because they think duty is being a slave, and it's called an egalitarian relationship. And that's why men don't waste your time with women like this. Just get you a traditional woman from a country where they're not complaining about doing something their grandmothers and grandmothers did. It's normal.
I need my house clean. We have a friendship. We have a partnership. That's what we should be thinking of as.
Where's the friendship? I'm trying to figure out what he's talking about, because it just feels like he does not like the words being used. That's what it sounds like.
Because that's really weird, because it's like, okay, so if my car is in the shop and I live in New York or somewhere and I got to catch the bus, should I date the bus driver because now we have a partnership? I'm not sure. Or if I meet a guy and I find out he's a bus driver and I need a ride somewhere, Does that mean we're partners?
Look, I mean, I guess if you're two people who are trading in business, like, this is so weird. It's
It
very
is
gaslighting.
gaslighting. Somebody said it's just gaslighting.
It is, because nobody's befriending the person that they're hiring to come clean the shit rings out of their toilet. Like, come on now. Like this is like so annoying. And definitely not a millionaire. Like, because can we preface and contextualize the discussion? This is about a millionaire being with a bus driver. And they can sit up here and pretend that Ebony Williams is a regular person and she's saying that she's not going to date a bus driver who's on her level. No, this is about a millionaire somehow being in the same proximity of a bus driver that she wouldn't even be in proximity to. Like, where are bus drivers and lawyers hanging out?
Yeah.
Like, where is that?
I hate when he used that friend example as to why money isn't important, because you're not sharing assets and liabilities with a friend. Yeah, no.
Now, to determine even...
I mean, to be fair, though, even friendships where there is a drastic socioeconomic difference is very difficult, because certain things are hard to do when certain people can't do it with you. And I think we need to give grace to each other when we have friendships, but a lot of times, a lot of things go awry because, like, people can't pay for the don't pay you back because they don't have the money. You are low, resentment bills. Like, it's a lot. It is a lot. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm saying be careful.
It's like that girl who got Shaquella. It's like that.
You don't even have to explain that. Just the name. Mm-hmm. That is ridiculous. Like, y'all play out here with these friendships.
Mm-hmm.
You the house cleaner, me the person who's the house clean. We need to work together. You the mother, me the mother. You need somebody to watch your son, I watch your son, because he's the same age as my son. We should be looking to find commonality, not to destroy one another because we don't have the same level of income.
But I'm still lost in this. Listen, everybody has a right to their preferences and standards. Like I said, you can date whoever you want, you can sleep with whoever you want. You can want him, I personally like chocolate ball with a beard. But then I've done Puerto Rican. And straight hair, I've done that too. Okay. So everybody has their preferences. What I'm saying is, when those preferences become the only measuring stick, would you dismiss someone of good character and quality, a good ingredient, because they came in a brown paper bag and tissue paper? For me, it's not even about men this and women that. I'm talking about how we as human beings have degraded our evaluation and assessment of each other now based on income and based on, like you said, thrills. That's what I'm talking about. And for women, it's because we live in our heads and we are neck down dead. We don't trust neck down anymore. We don't trust our hearts. We've been talked out of it, conditioned out of it, programmed out of it.
And guys, women like this are why men are frustrated. I was in a documentary where Al Greaves called Frustrated 3. And women like this would have called Jesus Dusty if he was living and walking the earth in modern times. They would have called Jesus Dusty because black men are frustrated.
When you date a woman and she may be a potential wife, it's a competition thing all the way. I can't take it no more.
They feel propped up because they feel more beholden to the government. And then their man comes second. That's why they figure that they're strong, independent, don't need no man, because they have the government.
Because the men are failing us, to be honest. Guys thinking about themselves, and they'll think about you after you react.
You don't hear anything about being good wives and all the other stuff. What you hear is you strong and you independent. You can do it on your own. You got black girl magic, black girl rock, but you ain't said nothing about black family.
My mother is like what they consider to be the strong black woman. I feel like I projected that onto the guys that I dated.
Ladies have no idea how stiff their competition really is. You have no clue how black men are viewed in the rest of the world. We are the #1 most sexually desired man on the face of this planet.
They would call Jesus Dusty if he was here living in America because of the gross narcissism that a lot of our women have.
They would have called Jesus Dusty. Jesus was a blue-collar man. He was a carpenter. But they say they love Jesus, but they would have never married a man like Jesus. And that's why I tell you men to start going abroad. I'm going to do a show called Dusty Jesus at some point. Shout out to my man, Mr. J or Mr. James for the 10. And that's a deal, right? Thank you, Mr. James.
That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it.
Also, shout out to my man Kevin White for showing love, as he and my man Gregory Scholar are the #1 sponsors for the stream. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it for showing love on tonight. Thank you, brothers. Hold tight.
And so a man who would treasure and value a heart, we dismiss because he's driving a bus.
There's a woman who I dated when I was in graduate school. That's what I did in graduate school.
Well, she is going to sit here and act like, because let's just throw out dating, because historically dating didn't exist. You were either arranged to be in a marriage or you weren't. And that arrangement was based on money. So why did she act like this is a new concept?
Right. Well, and also the disingenuity.
Shout out to Gregory Scotland once again for the 5. Gregory Scotland said, real educated conversations involve people like BGS, Dr. Neal, Dr. Johnson, Dr. Thunder, and the Green Gorilla, and you. I appreciate it, Brother Gregory Scotland. Thank you, sir. And Google New Wave. Oh, I'm not saying that Jesus is dusty, brother. I'm not saying Jesus is dusty. I don't think he's dusty. But they would have called him dusty, brother G, because they would look their nose down on. They would have called Jesus dusty because they're so narcissistic. But I don't think he was dusty. But they would call him dusty because they think that they are better than hard-working blue-collar men. They would have called my dad dusty. The modern woman would have, because they are goofy as hell. And that's why I do these shows, man.
Is that a word, Themis? Come on, tell me. Is that a word? It sounds like it should be a root word for
it. It sounds like it should be a word.
The disingenuity of saying this, particularly from a Black woman to another Black woman, where we have historically married and dated down, where we have been told. I remember when Swirling first came out, some guy on the radio said, Black women don't need to go nowhere. They need to be looking to the prisons. Like, we have been told, like, my mom had a college education. My dad had an 8th grade education. Like, why are we acting like Black women have not been doing this the whole time? The problem is that they're not doing it as much. Now they're talking about hypergamy. Now they're talking about being at someone on my level, and it's making their heads explode. Like, historically, Black women have married down. Why is it that we have such high percentages of Black women who are heads of households? So why are we even having this conversation as if Black women aren't already doing that and getting what kind of results? 80% divorce rates.
That is why
net worth. And so now we're having the conversations where we're talking about, maybe I need to be looking at this a little bit differently. And that's what this is about.
And historically, Black women were down like Black women. Black men, goofy woman. Black women were down just like Black men. We were mules of the same burden. But she's talking about dating down, when in the past and in the South and in pre and post antebellum, there were many poor Black folks and poor white people. It was just common working class people. The bourgeoisie or the talented 10th was rare. So what is this woman talking about? Black women have always dated down when Black men were oppressed. But this woman is projecting carnal hypergamy. And she don't deserve a man of quality. Talking about damn dating down.
Because we've been doing what they're saying.
That's why it's gaslighting, because disingenuity in the approach, I'm only using your word back at you. It is a word, by the way. But in the way that they're explaining it, it's making me think they think the world is Black women are only looking up for men, and that these women are not dating men who cannot live up to any kind of standards. And if that were true, then this would make sense. Like, y'all need to lower your standards in an effort to get a man and be able to be faithful or whatever. But that's not what's happening. We know the truth, and the truth is, even if you lower your standards, what is happening is what happens, because you have been lowering your standards. People are literally fighting tooth and nail to get women, Black women, to lift their standards up even just a little bit, and everyone is mad.
Because it will exclude Black men. That's why. This whole thing is about keeping Black women rooted and tied to Black men. Because at the end of the day, if Black women have standards, then that is going to... Oh, I thought there was something in my closet.
Wait, you said something was in your closet?
In my plant. I was about to jump off this chair. I thought something was in my plant. I was like, don't tell me there's no spider over here in this plant. But no, it's because it will lessen the access and options of Black men. It just will. And then if you have Black women who have these high standards, they're probably not going to be going for they're not going to be going for Black men. They're primarily going to be going for other men who can meet those standards and expectations. And once Black women start dating out, there's absolutely nothing that Black men can do about that except complain. And they know it. So their route is to get Black women to think, number one, that nobody else wants them. Number two, they don't deserve anything better. And three, that it's a problem for them to even go attempt to pursue anything better. They should sit here and just deal with the Black men that are in the community, and that's just it. And it's like, no, Black women deserve better, and you can get better.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you guys see the significance of
She said they deserve better. You know, can you imagine an average working man, saying he deserved better just because? What makes you deserve better? What redeeming qualities besides some of your worthless degrees and your debt makes you deserve better? Because your market value is not predicated on degrees. It's predicated, woman, on your femininity. It's predicated on your soft skills. It's predicated on your ability to make a home and to cause peace. It's predicated on your ability to discipline your emotions. But men, they just don't get it, man. I'm going to end the stream in a minute, guys. I won't be dropping the stream tonight. I'm tired, man. I'm gonna cut the stream off in a few because I got to get me some rest. I've been busy all day with clients, but maybe at some point before the week is out. But let's finish listening to some of this, guys, because y'all seen the delusion and the pathology, to say the least.
Iyanla Vanzant, who is in that crone persona, she's an older woman now working in service to these ideas that she knows damn well historically have not worked for Black women. The fact that they're using this old crone to be the voice of, hey, Black women, date down, date the bus driver, is very purposeful, is extremely purposeful. I mean,
and she's weaponizing her credentials too, because
yes.
she started saying, oh, this is Iyanla Vanzant, I'm a 14-time New York Times bestseller, a life coach, an attorney. She had a show on OWN. So this is also an insidious weaponization of her.
Okay, no. Pause.
Yes.
Let me say that because I almost forgot. This man was just talking about why we have to know your degrees and your accomplishment. This was not a context for Iyanla to tell us her accomplishment. She did. I was fine with it. He probably would have.
Shout out to my man James Turner. James Turner always coming through showing love. James Turner's what I call a high value man. I ain't gonna put his business out there, but James make that Wells Fargo money, man. Shout out to that brother. James Turner said, did you see what almost happened when Cynthia G thought she had something in her closet? She was ready to call for a man. Yes, sir, right. But she's delusional, James. We know she's delusional. She's gonna have to get a consultation and come check him out, coachtheclinician@gmail.com. Thank you, sir. And that's a deal right there.
That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it.
Shout out to my man Passport OG. This kind of talk will lead a lot of Black women to being uncovered in a very unstable economic time. Very unfortunate. No, it is true. Very true, Passport OG. But see, first comes pride and then the fall. First comes pride and then the fall. That's what happens. First come pride and then the fall.
A problem with her talking about her degrees, because why does that upset you? Also, separately from that, if we are to make it in the best faith argument, because like there's a part of me that does not want to say she's just like trying to be evil, right? Because if Black male worship is a thing, maybe she's deeply invested in it and not knowing that she is. So I'm trying to figure out, does she actually believe this? Because she won't do it. Like her statements about her never getting married again, her getting a prenup, she's not about to do this or she's not doing that before this, feels like she's very aware of the men around her and she don't want no parts of it.
She is. She thinks very poorly about Black men. It's very, very clear that she thinks very poorly about them. I just think it's insidious and demonic that she's using her credentials to try and bait Black women into being rooted to these men that she already knows is problematic.
Yeah. So disingenuous, having standards of a certain socioeconomic status is the price of admission. Once you're in the gate, then we can talk about character, worldview, etc. It's not rocket science. Yeah. That's what I didn't think people were just like, oh my God, you're rich, let me go date you regardless of who you are as a person.
But are y'all sick and tired as me of people advocating for things that they would never do them damn selves? Mm-hmm. Like, she's a millionaire too. Iyanla's a millionaire. And I bet if she was in the room with Ebony, she'd be like, bro, I get it. I understand. There were no mics and cameras around. She'd be like, girl.
No, but this is how
she said herself, she was thinking that in order for her to date the bus driver, he would have to own the transit company or something like that, own the bus station. So she is admitting that her standard for dating a bus driver would have to be very high too. And she also said she would have to keep her money, her stash on the side and have a prenuptial agreement, which means she knows that she needs to protect her wealth from someone who has not put in the work to accumulate it. So she knows exactly what it is. She's just being a Black man worshiper.
And you know what's weird? It's kind of like, I don't know, just Oyster Things doing a wife school. And she's never been married. It's kind of like that. I don't know.
I'm not glad you brought up Oyster, but Oyster did a video the other day calling MTR, and one of the people called MTR the guy with the wand. You know what?
Yeah, I saw that.
I can't believe someone would do something. That is disgusting.
Wait.
Shout out to my man Salty Balls. Brother Finally True, man. You know you're my homie, man. If you got a comment, I'll read it. If you want to donate as I read it, I'll read it. But I'm tired, man. I'm about to end the stream in a minute, man. You know you're my homie, man. But you got a scholar mind, man. You love to talk, man. You be getting along with. I love you though. You're my brother, man. But yeah, I'm on the stream in a few, man. Because you can talk, but I like it though. You're a deep brother, man. But shout out to my man Salty Balls for the 10. If you got a comment, just put it in the chat, man, and I'll read it. And if you want to donate, you can do that too. That's a deal right there.
That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it.
I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drop the link for a few minutes. I'm gonna let a couple of brothers come up. I'm gonna let you guys add some clarity. It's gonna be 5 minutes. 5 minutes, no longer than that, because I'm tired, man. I'm gonna let a couple of you brothers come up. But you gotta show your face in the back. You gotta show your face. And when I get ready to say end it, I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna end it. So I'm gonna let you a couple of you brothers come up. Go ahead, I'm finally the truth. But we ain't gonna get long with tonight, man. I got things to do, man. Got to get my rest. So, any of the brothers want to add to the conversation, you can add to the conversation as I'm paying the stream. And you need to cam up in the back. You need to cam up. But it's going to be short. It ain't going to be long because I got things to do. So hold tight.
Yeah, she let somebody else say it. And that's the thing. I saw it on another channel. I just got the recap. So here's what's insidious about what she does. She'll let somebody else say it. That's the whole she'll let somebody else say it. It's usually, it'll be just the flamethrower. And so she can still kind of have a little barrier between her. That's what I feel like.
I don't really think about Oyster. And to the extent that I do, everything that people say on her show, I just think that's what she believes. That's it. Like, she's not slick.
Not at all.
Wait, the new Little Mermaid hasn't come out yet, right? no, Eve. I'm not asking randomly. Eve once said I'm obsessed with the new Little Mermaid, and I'm just like, no.
Like when? Where?
Let me check. It comes out this month. Oh my God, I definitely need to buy my tickets.
Yeah, I'm definitely watching it. I am. That's why I want to make sure I'm not mentioning it. Please don't do that again and act like the new Little Mermaid came out when it really hasn't. I cried during the Disney version of Little Mermaid. I do want to put that out there.
Little Mermaid is my least favorite Disney princess.
Why?
I love the story and the magic and the whole thing. I appreciate. But how you go? Even as a child, I was like, you don't give up a kingdom for a man. Period. I mean, it's a.
Show yourself in the back, brother, real quick. I gotta see your face. I didn't see you, man. Brother T, I can't see you. All right. Give me a minute. Guys, we're gonna be real fast. So go ahead, Brother Terrence. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
5 minutes, man. I'm sorry calling you Deacon Long-winded, but I love your insight. But you can talk, man.
Short and sweet, brother. Short
and sweet. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Thanks to you and God, because you don't have just the best show on the internet.
No, man, I ain't got no best show, man.
You got the best. You got
Stop
the best
playing,
show
man.
in the whole world, brother.
No, man,
you go deep. You the deepest
I don't know
man
about all.
on there.
I don't know about all that, but I appreciate the compliment. But go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Did I hear Cynthia G just talk about how someone talks poorly about black men?
Yes. I think she said that, man.
Oh my God! You talk about the pot calling the kettle black.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! And the what's that dude's name? Themis.
Yeah, Brother Corn Syrup. Yeah.
Yeah, Themis want him a penis. And, his motivation is he got vagina envy for them females. That's why they have him around, and that's why he around them.
Right.
And,
I hear you.
Like I say all the time, the one and only problem that black people only have one problem. It ain't crack, it ain't AIDS, it ain't poverty, it ain't this, it ain't that. The only problem black people have is something called fatherlessness.
Right.
And see, we learned on cartoons that finish the sentence for me, while the cat's away, what'll happen? The mice will play. The mice will play.
Right.
And see, you hit the nail on the head earlier. These females, they making up their own rules. And see, since there's no fathers and no black men around, we're the ones that's supposed to set the rule for the house, the neighborhood, the community, and the society. But since there's no men around, they making up the rules and setting up the rules. And in the book of Isaiah, God said, women shall rule over them and children shall lead them.
Mm-hmm.
And our women, the greatest success of the racist white man is his weaponization of our women against us. And that's what we're looking at. And your grandma, people in your grandma and grandpa's time, if they heard Cynthia G, that bald head bitch, and others like her doing all this damn talking, they would have slapped them and told them get somewhere and sit down.
Right.
Yep. And see, now they talk about dating down. Black females talk about dating down.
Right.
Okay, wait. To quote my mama, wait a goddamn minute.
Hey, brother T, do me a favor, man, for the algorithm. Don't use profanity, man.
Oh,
or
yes,
limit
sir,
it
yes, sir.
for the algorithm, man, because you're gonna get me censored, man. So don't be careful with that.
My bad.
Go ahead, brother.
Well,
Go ahead.
Wait a damn minute then. Since less than 1% of black females are slim and don't have kids. Less than 1% are slim and don't have kids. But 54% of black men are single and childless.
Right.
Who the hell is dating down? We the one dating down.
Right.
Men set the rules again.
Right.
And the rules of femininity go like this. A female matures faster than a man. She's supposed to be married between the ages of 15 and 24. If she's not married in those ages as a virgin, she is at risk. And at 27, a female is an old woman. And even if a 10-year-old has a baby, she's an old woman. The first baby makes a woman old.
Right.
But these females have such a sense of entitlement from the racist white man. They think that their vagina is gold, diamonds, and platinum when they 60 with 8-10 kids.
Right. That's true.
Yeah. So we completely lost our standards.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they talking about dating down. Hell, we the ones dating down.
But let me qualify this. Let me say something. I don't believe. Is there a system of racial white supremacy that permeates the culture? Yes. But will I castigate all white men and say all white men are racist and they denigrate black people? I don't believe that. But there is a percentage. I don't know what that percentage is. But I'm not gonna denigrate all white people. I've met some good white folks.
No, I'm not doing that.
Right. But you are correct. These type of black women placate to the system of racial white supremacy and the ongoing suppression of black men and the denigration of black men. And you are correct. I don't know how old you are, brother T, but if you can remember in your generation, women like Cynthia G, a pink pill would have never been looked at. Am I right or wrong?
You're absolutely right. That's what I was saying. Once a female can be 12 years old. As soon as she has a kid, she's an old woman. Mm-hmm. And if she doesn't have a husband protecting her, she was looked down upon.
She was looked down upon. Yes, sir. Right.
As damaged, used up goods.
Right. I totally agree.
Just like you said an hour and a half ago. What are you doing bringing her home? She got kids. Oh, we don't need to meet her. She's used up. Don't bring her around us.
Right.
The standard is a virgin.
Right. That was supposed to be the standard. Yes, sir. Right.
Yeah, but crack cocaine, the nuclear bomb of crack cocaine has killed off black fatherhood, black manhood, and the black community.
Right.
But we don't want to examine it.
Right.
And all the standards are gone. A female is old even if she's a virgin. She's old at 27. That's nature. That's God in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Because why? Science. Who proves it? Science proves it. When a female turns 30, she loses 90% of her eggs.
Mm-hmm.
And doctors refer to that pregnancy as a geriatric pregnancy.
Geriatric pregnancy, right?
The word geriatric means old, an old woman.
Right.
This is not my and your opinion. This is scientific fact. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you know what, man? So many have sabotaged their life. You're right. The study published by the University of St. Andrews of Edinburgh University of Scotland, that found that women had lost 90% of their eggs by the time they were 30 years old, and only have about 3% remaining by the time they're 40. So who in the hell is the prize? Or who the heck is the prize? Who's the prize?
Who's settling, Kosher? We
Say
the
it
damn
again?
ones settling.
You said 7?
Settling.
Oh, settling, right. Yes, sir. I agree with you, right. I agree with you 100%. Ebony Williams, brother Terrence, is 40 years old. She got 3% of her damn eggs. But you don't want to marry a bus driver,
right?
And you equate your worth by money. Where if a man want a legacy, he gonna get a younger, fit, prettier woman.
Right.
Make it make sense.
Right. Shoot, she's in her position. She needs to be begging. She better wish a bus driver would look her way.
Right.
She's doo-doo up under a bus driver's shoes.
Right.
Because marriage ain't got nothing to do with money. There's a dude named God that said the love of money is the root of all evil.
Yes, sir. Right.
You don't marry for no money.
Right.
Dr. Phil said it best. If you marry for money, you will earn every penny.
Right.
Because marriage is a spiritual thing, not a financial thing.
Yes, sir. You gotta have it, but you're right. You should marry solely for that.
Right. Finances come way down the road. You can marry together in poverty. That's why you think the vows say what? For richer,
better or for worse, right? Or poor. Yes, sir. I agree with that. Right.
The damn vow don't say for rich only, do it?
That's an excellent point.
Come on, Coach. Get me straight on this thing, brother.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right. Hey, hold tight, because I'm about to end this stream. I'm going to play a little bit more of this. I know you said 5 minutes. I'm going to end it, dog. So hold tight.
Yes,
give me 1 minute. Hold tight.
Another kingdom, but like, is it though? So that I never understood why she wanted to like give up her kingdom for this kingdom, but period.
My least favorite princess movie was Princess and the Frog, where they had the first Black princess having to hustle and save the prince and save him financially and physically. I thought that was the absolute worst princess movie I've ever seen.
Is that not reflective of what happens in the Black community?
Yes, it is. But you're supposed to be a princess. It's supposed to be aspirational for all the little white girls. Be like, maybe I'll be a princess and a man will come and save me. They get
and you know the level of delusion is crazy, man.
It's off the chart.
Because they are saving Black men. So basically, based on I call her Sister Rosette. Cynthia G, she's assuming that at least, because more than 50% is above average, that more than 50% of Black men are broke, causing chaos and need rescue. But of course, I don't think the stats more or less affirms that. But go ahead.
Right. No, Cynthia G is the problem with her and Black females is they're living through their pain.
I totally agree. It's called vicarious trauma. You're exactly right. I agree 1,000%. Right. You're right.
Misplaced and displaced rage is what we call it in psychology. And that's why I say you got the best show, because you're a therapist. You get to the root of the thing.
Right. Displaced aggression.
Nobody exposing the root like you.
Right.
And so in living through her pain, she sees through the glasses and lenses and perception and experience of hurt and trauma.
Right.
As Kevin Samuel said, scarcity, lack, and fear. So the Black man is this big boogeyman. That's why they made the movie King Kong. To show the masses, to try to convince the masses that the Black man is this big monster animal that wants to grab on the blonde-haired white woman all the dang time. Because back then, when it started, Jack Johnson had him a white girl he'd drive all up and down the country with in a convertible.
Right.
And then they'd pull him over for a speeding ticket, and he'd look at the ticket would be $30. He'll hand the man $60 or $100 bill and take off.
Right.
You see? So she's coming from a position and posture of pain. You see, and that's the problem with a lot of Black females. I ask them when I holler at them, I say, look, do you want to be loved and grow and nurture and have a happy, healthy, wholesome relationship, or do you want to hold on to your past and previous prior pain
Right.
and trauma?
Right. I totally agree, brother.
Those
Totally
are only
agree.
two damn choices in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. You the only one hitting on that.
No, I agree with you, brother. Brother Terrence. Everything you say is very profound and true. Because I'll say it before, I see it many times in practice. Many are transmitting through pain. It's vicarious trauma. They live into the trauma of their mothers. They live into the trauma of their past relationships.
Right.
And they have a very profound thinking error called overgeneralization, which is a cognitive distortion, and it's predicated in what's called forecasting and catastrophize. They catastrophize all black men through their limited anecdotal experiences.
Exactly.
Which more or less loses the context of the situation. And that's why I do these shows, man, because as I said before, my mom and dad are still married. My mom and dad are still married.
Right.
My dad is 80 years old, and my mom was a virgin when my dad got. And you know what the crazy thing is, Brother Terrence? Black men are the one that lower their standards because, once again, they take chicks like Cynthia G and Pink Pill that got kids by other men. They're not virgins.
Since the 70s, we've signed up for stepdaddyism.
Right.
And now with the passport revolution, we've waken up. We woke now, and we not taking that sweet honey iced tea no more.
Right. And you know what, bro, Terrence, I got a good show coming up, man. I'm gonna have you as my special guest, man. I'm gonna have you on. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. I'm gonna do the research. I already got the thumbnail for it, man. And yeah, we're gonna kill it. We're gonna kill it. I'm gonna get my other man to come up there too. My man, one of the brothers. But I got the thumbnail. No, I'm dead serious. I'll start off solo, but you love to talk, so I'm gonna bring you on. But anyway, I'm about to end this stream, Terrence, man. Thank you for popping through, man.
Man, thank you for having me, brother. Thank you for having the best show in the world, brother. God bless you.
Yeah, real quick before I let you go. Tell the brother, how old are you, brother Terrence? You in your 50s or 60s?
Man, 50s or 60s? Man, I'm over 30, brother.
No, serious. I'm dead serious. Are you a boomer or Gen X?
Let's say 56.
Okay. So we're around the same age. Okay, cool. Right. So yeah, you knew the time when our women were normal.
Man, we saw when we had families. We saw grandma on the porch, with a long dress on, with some boots on.
With some boots on. Yes, sir. Right. And you know what?
And that man didn't go nowhere.
Right.
And that man will come and go work at the factory and bring his check home and hand it to her and go inside and take him a nap.
Right. Sure did. Right. And that woman didn't counter Robert and married that hard-working man. She didn't say she was marrying down. But see, what they forgot, Terrence, a lot of farmers sent their wives to school to become better. So how in the heck is that marrying down? Where they sacrifice their own education for the future of the black community.
Less than 1% of them are slim and without kids.
Right.
They have absolutely no room to talk. We the ones, we've been marrying down for 70 years now.
Right.
In the 60s, you talking about wouldn't date a bus driver. In the 60s, I told brother Arvin, in the 60s, all the bus drivers was married and had a family.
Mm-hmm.
What changed this stuff is the nuclear bomb of crack cocaine that taught black males to be drug smokers and taught black females to fall in love with the drug brokers, the drug sellers, the guys that had the shiny cars, shiny rims, shiny clothes, shiny jewelry. That never happened before in history. Before that, females wanted regular guys.
They wanted regular guys, right?
With the regular house, with the regular job, with the regular shoes,
right?
With the regular money. See, these people don't realize in the 60s, you could buy a brand new car off the showroom floor for $1,500. You could buy a brand new house for $5,000, $7,000.
Mm-hmm.
But the nuclear bomb of crack cocaine and the crap music, I mean, what's it called? Rap music.
Mm-hmm.
Where everybody's competing against each other and making fun of each other and laughing at each other being broke. That's what changed it.
Right.
Didn't nobody before 1970? Didn't nobody care about no money? All the cars was ugly. All the cars was big and ugly. Only thing the man cared about is if he could carry his kids in the back.
Right. And you know what? Real quick, I'm gonna let you go, but that's why this little clip to this song matters so much. I ain't gonna play because I'm gonna give me a copyright strike. But this little clip. Shoe shine used to cost a dime. A penny could get you plenty. And this guy was effeminate, but at least he was cerebral. He was cerebral, man. Right. He said, shoe shine used to cost a dime. A penny could get you plenty. And so he was even talking in the context of saying that you just got to accept life for what it is. You can't be complaining. They were saying that back in the 70s, Terrence.
Yes, sir. I told you I lived in Africa. And them brothers over there, these females talking noise. Oh, we'll get our passports too. And I'm going to go get me an African man.
Right.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Right.
I will help you get over there to those brothers that make $1 a day for 15 hours. They make
right.
They make $30 a month.
Right.
This ain't nothing I heard. I seen these brothers.
They won't last in Africa, man. Because the hypergamy will kick in.
Going over to the Dominican Republic where those policemen make $200 a month. I had to tip him every time I saw him. I had to throw him something.
Mm-hmm.
Take your assets over there. Go right ahead. I'll help you.
Right.
Because that $100 you tipping him, you don't realize that's 5 months of salary for him.
Mm-hmm.
And you gonna be Stella, get your groove back. Go ahead.
Right.
And a bus driver ain't no good. I'm greater. Y'all greater than a bus driver. And that bus driver making $60K. The brother in Africa is making $1,000 a year.
Right.
Less than that.
Well, Brother Terry, the brother said you can marry you one of these American women, man. You can get you an American woman and pull up in a nice house on the hill, man.
That dream is over with. That dream over with. Umar Johnson said it best. Black folks ain't been married since the 70s. Marriage is over with. Mm-hmm. That's why they busy on YouTube talking about it. It's over with.
Yeah, it is, man. Sadly, it is.
That's done. Elijah Muhammad said in the 60s, if you got the right woman, you just got lucky.
Right. Yeah. If I was a single man, I'm good, man. I wouldn't even look at the typical.
No.
Man.
No, it's
my time, bro.
Our women has been weaponized against us. They the white man's greatest weapon against us. That's why they on here running their mouth and repeating all these Ku Klux Klan talking points. Shoot, the Ku Klux Klan is nicer to us than our woman.
Right. Now you're right, man. But listen, Brother Terrence, stay tuned, man. I got you, man. We're gonna have a good plan. I got a good show coming up, man. Y'all.
Sir.
We're gonna kill it. I think your inside will be well met. But anyway, I'm gonna drop you down, dog. You take care of yourself, man. All right, brother.
Bless you and your family, brother.
No doubt. Bless you, brother. All right, guys. A few more minutes. I'm gonna end the stream, man. I'm tired. I gotta get me some rest, man. All right, hold tight.
A black girl on there, she working, she's scrubbing the floor. She's like, I'm gonna make it, whatever she was singing.
That sounds like what Dion is advocating for. So
I cried when Bambi's mother got shot too.
Who's there? I mean,
what did you say, Century?
I cried when Bambi's mother got shot too. For real, I did.
Oh,
I did. That had me destroyed my feelings at the time. I was like, "What? They killed Bambi's mother." I was a mess. I was like literally a mess.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I didn't really care about Princess and the Frog, but I didn't like the representation. But I was like, yeah, I mean, that's pretty.
The message to the little white girls is that
it seems
you
pretty
can have
accurate,
a successful man come and save you. And then you have the black princess, the first and only black princess, having to save the man, work 11 jobs. He's working for her. They get married. He's working for her in her restaurant. It's bullshit. They give these white girls these aspirations, but the black girls aren't supposed to have them. Like literally, Princess and the Frog is culpable. And you know what? They're just as bad as Iyanla Vanzant as far as I'm concerned.
No, but that's the thing, I feel like a lot of black women are advocate for that kind of relationship. And so it's like, is it just merely like holding up a mirror and saying this is what happens? Because it feels like that's what it was giving.
But it's not supposed to. It's a fairy tale. It's supposed to be something little girls look up to and say, maybe it'll be me. So every little black girl thinks she's got to work 3 jobs, save the man, kiss frogs, you know, hope for the best. It was the craziest thing. It was just the craziest thing. Dating down, like if you think of the symbolism of Princess of the Frog, I'm sorry if I'm diverting, but the fact that she had to kiss him, he turned into a frog dusty. He's a dusty frog. And
maybe
she
with
said,
a warning.
Dusty frog, so she can get what she wants. She's got to go down. She said, I would never, at the beginning of that movie, when those 2 girls were little, and they did the story of Princess of the Frog, Tiana was like, I'll never kiss a frog. So they made her lower her standards. Because when she was a baby, she said, I'll never kiss a frog. And there she was, having to do what she said she never wanted to do, lower her standards, and kiss that damn dusty frog. I'm done. I'm going to go.
She called the frog dusty, man. But she's a baby mama. And she got 4 kids. Man, I feel so sorry for some of y'all young brothers, man, that are single, man, with no kids, man. My heart goes out to y'all. Don't lower your standards, man. Don't lower your standards, man. Y'all some good brothers, man. Don't lower your standards, man. But we are equal to a white woman. Hold on, they're about to find out white women really want. How I feel about black women. Yeah, I totally agree, man. Dusty Ball said, what kind of philosophical is this, the Dusty Frog? Yeah, man, it's damn crazy, man.
And I was 16 months out of the housing project. I didn't know what she thought, like a ring she meant. And so she's talking about this ring, and she's talking about VCR. I don't know what I don't know, something like that. Like letters that go with diamonds, I guess, is there things that go with that, right? Cuts and colors and what have you. And as she talked, this is true. As she talked about what she valued, again, this is me, not anyone else. As she talked about what she valued, and here I am, somebody who at the time was a social work school, working in Philadelphia Public School, working some of the course on earth. And she's saying that she's actually becoming less attractive to me. Actually, the more she.
Wait, that's a good thing. You cannot afford what she wanted in her describing the diamond, and she became less attractive to you. I feel like that's a good thing. You guys found out that you were incompatible.
Exactly.
That's a good, yeah, I feel like that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
She's describing the diamond. I'm thinking, her face is literally breaking in front of me. And I'm thinking, wow, she's just not even pretty anymore. And I don't want to talk to her anymore because we clearly are in a different space. When I said to my wife, before she became my wife, I asked her, what would you say if I tied a blade grass around your finger? She said, I would blade grass. For a long time, that's all I could have afforded was a blade grass. And there have been times in my career where it's been up and it's been down.
Shout out to my man, Salty Balls for the 2. He said, personality disorder show, no doubt. Yes, we can do that, brother. Just let me know.
You got the number right, because you are talking to kid a dynamite. You're dynamite.
Let me know. Actually, I'll start putting the thumbnail together, Salty Balls. I'll get you on the back end, man. And we'll do a comprehensive show. We'll do a comprehensive show, Salty, on personality disorders. We'll make it fun, comprehensive. And actually, I did a thumbnail on it, man. I did not a thumbnail, but not a thumbnail, but a short. Hold tight.
Blades grass was all I had access to. And what kind of person wants to feel like their value ebbs and flows like the stock exchange in their bedroom? Who wants to feel like that? Think of the message that you're sending. It's not about lowering your expectations. It's about being humane towards people. The conversation
standards. I mean, let me tell you. I'm going to tell you 2 private personal stories. Okay. First, when I got married, I wasn't the Iyanla Vanzant of, fixing my life and whatever. I had a couple of books out. And my life, my career, I had been doing the work for like 20 years. But unless people see you on TV or hear you on the radio or go on Oprah, they dismiss you. People, the lady from Oprah, no, baby, I was doing the work 20 years before I got on Oprah. And it's the same thing we do to bus drivers. I think, and trash people. I think sometimes they can't even feel the value of the service they offer because we put them down and we dismiss them.
I'll tell you something about you that you don't know about you and me. So in 1992, I lived in Philadelphia. I lived in Philadelphia in 1992. And I was on a men's football team. And most of the brothers who were on this men's football team were the men who were talking about who worked different jobs. Acts of Faith came out in what year?
92, 91.
Watch how the story goes. One brother on the team got Acts of Faith. He bought 30, 40 of the Acts of Faith himself.
The little purple one.
He was a bus driver. He came and handed them out to all of us at football practice. You were speaking into men who were still, most of us were still single. We were still trying to figure out who we were. You were building us up even before you met us.
Wow. Listen, I 2 things I want to say. One is, I think a man has to be able to provide. For me, I have the 4 P's. Provide, protect, perform, and please. That's
so even you have the period. Provide.
If you're a lawyer,
Please note that she just said her standards require men to provide. Because some people gonna come upon this upon here talking about I was unemployed when my wife the girl decided to marry me, and she had nothing to say to this man, even though her standard was to. Then you're up here dragging Ebony. No, you are wrong because even your own standard require providing. No.
That's the crazy thing to me is that like okay, I'm gonna go on mute.
Wait, it's gonna come when the people come on. That's what I don't really care about. When people start coming on, it gets messy. Because no,
that's it. You got to be able to do that. But let me tell you how I did that. When I got married, and I wasn't young Van Zandt, I was just growing into that. And my husband did not earn the kind of money that I was earning at the time. And we talked about it. When she makes more than him, and we came up with a really workable plan and how we were going to do. He was going to do this. He was going to do that. And we were both going to add a percentage to our joint bank account to handle our household. Even though the amount I put in was more, the percentage was the same. We were each going to get 75.
You got to do all these accommodations. For egos.
It's so exhausting because it doesn't matter if the percentage was the.
And guys, this is what we call in the clinical world ego syntonia. This is classic ego syntonia because this woman is delusional. Hold tight.
The same. You made more money. That's why you were putting more in there. He made less than you. Really? Oh my God. Like, she's trying
that's what I'm talking about. It's like people advocating for things that they don't do and don't believe. They're, to me, the worst. They are the worst. They are the most dangerous because they are telling you to behave in a way that they're not even doing themselves.
Yeah, I'm telling you, black male worshipers are from the devil. I promise you they are. They are from the devil.
She wanted to say they put equal amount in by using the percentage. God,
And how well did it work? Is she still married to him? Did that work? Did that help her feel good?
No.
Because to most black people, that will fly. If she says, well, we're putting in the same percentage, most black people are going to see that as, oh, he was contributing equally. No, he was not. Because even if two people are putting in 20% of their income, but one has less money, one only can take 20% from $100 every month, and she's taking 20% from like 60,000, her 20% is going to contribute way more than his is.
How was he providing? Sam said she had the common core marriage or something, like where everything is just graded down on a curve.
Like girl, but they're not even in the same tax bracket. Based on what she's saying, I'm thinking they're not even in the same tax bracket.
Oh, wait,
they're not contributing the same.
Well, till you hear this Christmas tree story.
5% of whatever we earn. So my 75% was 10,000 and his was 3,000. That's okay because we were on equal footing, adding the same percent.
No, you're putting in $7.
Shout out to my man, Salted Balls. Brother Salted Balls said this. He said, "'Twas the season for these hedonistic heathens possessed by the demons. They sin, they don't give you." "'Twas the season for these heathens possessed by the demons. They are sin, don't give your semen. These things avoid the blinding light of the beacon. They gotta hear the truth." Hear the truth from the deacon.
It's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it.
Saw the ball said somebody for the twos a little too comfortable in that mammy rap.
Hello, lucky person. You got the number right, because you are talking to Kid a Dynamite.
I call her sister.
You're Dynamite.
$1,000 more, lady. Like, what are you talking about?
Are they married though? Did it work? Why is she talking about a tactic that did not work?
No. It's not even about it working for me. It's the fact that she's about to try to convince us that they're the same. That's the part that behooves me.
Yeah, because 7,000 is the same as 3,000. Like,
right.
that's
Like,
why they're putting sugar on shit.
He
And calling it
30%.
real.
He makes $1. He puts in 30. He puts in 30 cents. Hercules.
She is trying to convince us that it's the same. It's equal. They're on equal footing. No, not even close.
I could, I was making nice money. And what I didn't have to put in the house, I stuck over in the side. Well, I'm a Christmas person. I love the Christmas tree. I love, not because of the religious or the commercial aspect. I just like the way it looks and feels and sounds. So we decided, he's a Kwanzaa person, grassroots, community organizer. He does Kwanzaa. I did Christmas. So this is what we decided. He would support me with Christmas. I would support him with Kwanzaa. He would buy the Christmas tree and take care of all of that. And I would buy the menorah and the candles and set up the Kwanzaa, the zawadi for the kids and everything. Okay. So this one particular Christmas, I'm driving along and I see this Christmas tree of life. Okay. Big 10-foot screws. We got 12-foot ceilings. I mean, this thing was divine. This was many.
Brother Themis, Brother Corn Syrup got more sugar than Cynthia G and the Cynthia G and the Pink Elephant. But some of these guys, women guys, they got personality disorders. And Saw the Balls, we're gonna do a show on that, brother. We're gonna do a show on that. We're gonna do a show on that at some point. We're gonna do a show on it. And I think some of these chicks might have let me stop this. Some of these chicks might be hold tight. Let me remove this real quick.
Hey babe, how's work? What do you?
You want to tell me where you were last night? Where were you?
Nowhere.
Because when you dropped me off, this was at 158,981 miles, and now look at it.
You're freaking
My house is
crazy.
only 4 miles away.
Okay,
so where did you go last night? Tell me.
You might be dealing with a cluster B. This is what it looks like when they're dealing with attachment issues. Book a session, men, if you're dealing with women like this.
You got to watch out for them cluster Bs, man. And I'm not here to denigrate them because they've been through trauma, but they can be very dangerous and they are hard to heal. But guys, anyway, I'm about to sign off, man. I'm tired, man. You guys are funny, man. Thank you, guys. I got a show coming up for y'all tomorrow, another good one. And I got another one coming up Sunday, man. So thank you, brothers, for tuning in, man. Hey, Solid Ball, just let me know when you get ready, brother. We got it, man. Solid Ball's fun as hell, man. Solid Ball said, scroll the merchants 7. A summon went out to the congregants. A summon went out to the congregants of the Guild of Merchants called the Appeal. As I placed my tribute out of my treasure chest, brethren, match tribute for tribute. Support Don 7 Sage, no doubt, man. And that's a deal, right? And brother Solid Balls, you are the #1 sponsor of this stream for your timely love offerings. Thank you, brother. And that's a deal, right?
That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it.
Shout out to the Quiet Storm for doing a great job on tonight, tallying up all the numbers. He said, shout out to the stream sponsor, Deacon Salty Balls, for the 44, the #1 sponsor on the stream. And that's what it's all about, guys. Thank you guys for showing love. James Turner, brother Gregory Scotland, and all the other brothers that donate on tonight. I really appreciate it. These shows are time consuming because I'm a licensed therapist, and it takes a lot of time. It's a lot of risk, but we got to continue the conversation, man. Shout out to my dear sister, Ongba Angwa. Shout out to her. I'm gonna play a few more minutes with Dr. Stephen Perry, and then we're gonna end the stream.
Years ago, and I jumped out my car and I went over to the man and I was sniffing the tree and licking it because I'm into Christmas trees. And I asked him how much it was, and he said $80. I said, please hold the tree for me. Please hold the tree for me. Now in my mind, I said, I can't even give you a deposit because my husband has to come and buy it. Please hold the tree for me. I'm gonna go home right now and get my husband to come buy this Christmas tree. And he said, okay, I'll do that. It was early, so I go home and I'm all excited and I said, look, babe, I found the tree. No place. And he said, okay, how much is it? I said, $80. He said, I ain't paying no $80 for no Christmas tree. And I'm like, I love the tree. Why? You said you would get the tree. Yeah, I'll get the tree, but I'm not paying no $80 for the Christmas tree. Now in my mind, as the the money earner, I can afford an $80 Christmas tree. I want an $80 Christmas tree, and I'm trying to adhere to our agreement. So the next day, he went out and he came back with a Kwanzaa bush. This is what I don't think
Look, the reality is he can't afford what she can afford. That's basically what he's saying. He can't afford what you can afford.
Oh, the story for me doesn't get even, it's not bad yet. I mean, it's already bad. This is going to cause resentment. This is going to cause resentment. There is no submission in the world that's going to make you okay with this for a long period of time. If you are used to a certain lifestyle and you have to downgrade to be with someone, I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying resentment is going to build. It's best to stay with people who are in your social group, who are at your level, and who can engage in the things that you engage in. But this is not even the part that is the problem for me. The part that is the part, I don't give advice. Please ignore everything I'm saying. This is all entertainment from my perspective because I don't care what people do. I don't. But it's the problem because she don't continue the story, and it's a mess. Like, I'm gonna play it unless you guys.
The thing is, it's not even just gonna be resentment. It's gonna be insecurity. He's constantly gonna be thinking he doesn't bring anything to her life. You don't need me. You don't think I have no value. It's gonna be a whole bag of insecurities that come out of the fact that he can't even afford the $80 Christmas tree that she wants.
But then it goes even deeper than that. He can't even keep his word on the bargain.
No, because he doesn't have the money. Because in order to keep his word, he has to be in a certain income bracket that he's in.
And you can't afford $80. What are you doing, Iyanla?
Because you have a different mindset. Broke people have a broke mindset. They really do. And that's not to be, listen, I grew up poor. So I know. Like, I grew up poor, living in cars, living in churches. The struggle was real. So I understand the...
You guys heard what Cynthia G said. Cynthia G, once again, consistent with what I said earlier, guys. She is living through vicarious trauma. She said, I've been broke, I've been poor, and I grew up and I lived in churches. She's a broken woman. And I got some empathy for Cynthia G to some degree. But she needs some help. She needs to work through her pathologies. She needs some cognitive behavior therapy. She needs some Gestalt therapy. She needs some reality therapy. She needs some narrative therapy. She needs some talk therapy. She needs some logo therapy. She needs a myriad of different treatment interventions to help her work through her pathologies because it's sabotaging her potential to be in love with a noble black man. And this is what trauma looks like, intergenerational trauma, and it's transmitted to the children. But I promise you guys, if Cynthia G got the right man, and she would take down that wall and probably be a decent woman. But she's a broken, demented woman that needs help. But she would never qualify for my woman. She would never qualify. Wouldn't qualify at all, man. He said she need foot therapy. Oh my God, man, you funny. Anyway, man, let me end the stream, man. I'm tired, man. Anyway, guys, y'all funny, man. Solid Ball's #1 sponsor stream. That's my brother, man. Always showing love, man. But yeah, King Solid, just let me know, man. We'll do that show, man. We'll be talking in the background, man. We'll make it happen, brother. But anyway, guys, in the meantime, if you're dealing with emasculation, go check out the book by Edward Fields IV. About to sign off, guys. Go check out that book by Edward Fields IV called Emasculation.
Have you been distressed or perplexed? Emasculated. A book written by Edward Fields IV. Everything that needs to be known about men in modern time. Listen, men are not complex. They are misunderstood and unappreciated. Learn what men really feel, think, and desire. Also observe their struggle for acceptance, love, and belonging. A must read for every man in this classic book by Edward Fields IV, Emasculated. Go get your copy now.
All right, guys, we're about to sign off. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for tuning in tonight. But you know, Bishop Charles E. Williams said it better than me. Bishop Charles E. Williams was one of the greatest preachers in my mind of modern times. And Salty Balls would have been one of his deacons after he went through the baptism. But Bishop Charles E. Williams said that many leaving Zion, leaving Babylon and going to Zion. And the question remains on tonight, guys. Are you leaving Zion, leaving Babylon? And are you ready to go to Zion? We're about to sign off, guys. In the words of the great late Bishop Charles E. Williams, can these dry bones live?
Then said he unto me,
Then the Lord said unto me,
Prophesy unto the wind.
Preach unto the wind.
Prophesy, son of man.
Preach, son of man.
And say to the wind.
And say to the wind.
Thus saith the Lord God.
Thus saith the Lord God.
Come from the four winds.
Come from the north, south, east, and west.
O breath.
O breath.
And breathe upon these slain.
And breathe upon these dead bodies.
That they may live.
That they may live.
So I prophesied as he commanded me.
So I preached as the Lord commanded me.
And the breath came into them.
And breath came into them.
And they lived.
And they lived.
And stood up upon their feet.
And they stood upon their feet.
An exceeding great army.
An exceeding great army.
South wind and preach to the east wind and preach to the west wind and tell the wind to blow on these bodies. And the preacher started preaching, said all winds, all four winds, said blow on these bodies that they may live. And when the preacher started preaching, the wind started blowing and all of those dead bodies, they came alive. The Bible said, and they stood up on their feet, an exceeding great army. But I heard the preacher said to them, you've been here long enough. You've been down in Babylon long enough. You've been dead and dry long enough. You've been separated long enough. Now let's come out of this valley. Let's go back to Zion. I heard them say, follow me. It's time now for a new beginning. Enough is enough. It's time for a new beginning. Come on and follow me. I heard them singing and they started to Jerusalem. We are marching to Zion.
Fire for your mind. Cohesion, clinician.
If it ain't seven, it ain't culture. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we're talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues. Asking fathers who miss you. Mama drama don't kiss you. All a part of the ritual. This is how they get you. Separate the men, women clipping babies pretend to. Damn. Lovers, haters acting like vultures. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen. Listen.